in our country, and we're bringing it back quickly and strongly.
Saying during a Rose Garden event that things are going well.
I think it's just a really amazing time. The spirit that we have in this country right now is greater than I've ever seen it before, and it started on November 5th.
Also offering an update on the work by Republicans in Congress on a bill to advance his agenda, repeating a pledge to make the biggest tax cuts in history and vowing to save Medicaid. Democrats say spending cuts will end up gutting it. A senior administration official says the new economic partnership between the U.S. and Ukraine goes beyond access to rare minerals. By sending a strong message to Russia, the U.S. has skin in the game.
The agreement establishes an investment fund that would receive revenue from critical minerals and other new natural resource projects in Ukraine.
It's meant to pay back the United States. This is the key point. For the hundreds of billions of dollars that our taxpayers have spent subsidizing the war in Ukraine.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says the Ukraine deal serves as a model for other mineral agreements President Trump is pursuing.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Ukraine's president says the conclusion of that deal is the first result of his recent meeting with President Trump at the Vatican. America is listening to Fox News.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No question we are stuck in a weather pattern, periods of showers through the afternoon, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms. It's not going to be raining all the time. 76 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms scattered about. 55. Friday, partly sunny. Keep the idea of a shower here and there. A lot of dry time Friday, 69, and a good-looking weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I love the way he articulates things together, examples with all his stage members up there at all different levels, which is wonderful to see and inspiring.
That's Orlando on his Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text Expo to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
This is JT the Mulch Man, here to save your yard this spring. Don't let your flower beds suffer from boring mulch or low-quality compost. Hanson's has premium mulch and compost to keep your plants thriving. Trust me, I'm the Mulch Man. Check us out at hansonstree.com.
Yow! This could be the number 1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning planning experience. And they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. We know the loss and the cost of an accident because when an insurance company offers a lowball settlement, we go to war for you and take the fight to the insurance company. Call 314-500-5000.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Right, there's a breaking news that happened in the commercial break. So what you're looking at photographs right now of Michael Waltz. He is the president's national security advisor, except for we just got news that he is going to be leaving the administration along with his deputy, Alex Wong. Of course, if you might remember the story of Signalgate. I don't know if that's for a particular reason, but there was some consternation among some people about Mike Waltz, who you might remember was a congressman, Green Beret, a long history and career in foreign policy. And I believe
So Mike Waltz out as the national security advisor. Remember, this was one of those seats that we lost when we appointed somebody out of Congress. A Republican out of Congress had to wait for a special election to take place. That guy is now out of the administration, 101 days in. Isn't that something? Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. It's great to be with you here today. I remember hearing when the Signalgate started, when those text messages came out, there was I want to say that it might have come out of the War Room crew about the question marks that surrounded former Representative Mike Waltz, now National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, no longer National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, that maybe there was some reason to have less trust in him. I'm interested to find out more. We'll get more reaction from folks throughout the course of the show as to why this maneuver was made, because you could be fired or removed or whatever the situation, whatever the name is for it. You could be removed because you made a big enough mistake to get removed, and you could be removed because you're not trustworthy. There's a big difference between, in my mind, of looking at somebody and saying, wow, you made a big mistake. And, oh, you were trying to sabotage the administration because you thought something should be one way when the administration thought it should be the other. So that's the kind of the big news of the day. The president was speaking at the White House earlier regarding the National Day of Prayer. And if that was on while we were on, I'd probably carry it. But I got to be honest, I'm just going to give my straight up honest opinion about it. If you're going to have a National Day of Prayer, I want it to focus on God, not on man. And that's not what happened. They got there eventually, but it was a little unsatisfying for me. I was like, separation of church and state. Go back to that. Just for now, at least.
Just for an afternoon.
This is not the strong suit for President Trump. I do believe that he has faith. I don't believe that I have the right to judge his faith. But I don't think that, when Mike Pence was there, I think he was there partly to be able to represent, Midwestern values. He comes from Indiana to represent a faith community. He is very outspoken about his faith. I appreciated that about him. You're in a position where you can represent those things and put your best foot forward. And while I can't judge the quality of anybody in the administration's faith. If it's not your best foot forward, key in on that and do what's best. Did you listen to any of it?
Very little. From what I heard, I like that they were saying, look, the religious freedom is going to be front and center here. We're going to not only protect that, we're going to advance that. That's policy. So I thought that was good.
How do you advance religious freedom? Don't you just get the heck out of the way?
I think so.
I mean, you can't.
Unless you're the Supreme Court, you're not really.
Well, I mean, we have it. It's in the First Amendment. I mean, that was numero uno on the list of God-given rights. And so to me, it's like the only thing that the government can do is get in the way. Your rights are yours. They came from God. They don't come from government. And it's important to highlight that, because if government gives you your rights, they can remove your rights. They can regulate those rights. They can lessen those rights. The National Day of Prayer is an important thing. I think it's good that he's there. I just don't think that listing off your accomplishments for the administration in the 100 days with a captive audience is the right time to talk about, man. Like, I would like to have heard at the beginning of his prayer ceremony, if it was going to be about President Trump, I would like to hear about his faith journey. I would like to hear about his brush with death and a bullet, because he's correlated that with his faith on multiple occasions. So I don't think it would be out of the ordinary to have that conversation. I just don't think it's time to, like, I don't know, do the normal Trump thing, which I am okay. I love the normal Trump thing. But if you're going to talk about something to me that far trumps the Trump thing, it's our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
It did feel like a weird environment to spike a football, especially when you're 100 days in. A lot of what they're doing, like you said, is just saying the persecution of Christians, whether it be of Catholics from the IRS and all these random things. We're not doing that. Okay, that's good that you're not doing that, but that also means that was day one you were not doing that. There's not really a lot else to say.
The other thing is, I don't look to my government to the point before about like furthering religious freedom. I don't look to my government to further religious freedom. That's mine. I don't need them. I don't know if you weren't quoting him. You were just saying that.
No, it wasn't a quote.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to hold him accountable for that if I heard you say that and it was your words and not his. I think that the success and the value of what he has to offer is how faith has guided him. And this is, again, I like the Trump thing. I don't have any problem with him using the word Trump when he talks about himself. That doesn't bother me 98% of the time. But in this conversation, it's got to be about something. It's got to be about something else.
Trump is uniquely authentic. And when anybody around him is not being authentic, it does stand out a little bit. I'm not saying that that's what today was, but Trump doesn't speak about this a lot.
Speak about what?
Religion, about his faith. He does very generally. He does somewhat specifically about the shot to the ear. And that's where he goes with it.
Usually when prompted too.
Yeah.
I think it's a really personal thing, which is why I wish that would have been the focus for today. And you know what? The paper or the teleprompter in front of him might have been focused on that. And then he gets to do what he wants. I elected him. I regret nothing. I'm sure many people listening have those same thoughts. In addition to that, there's also yet another press briefing. And this is the one I wish I could have been there for. Not that I regret anything. Tom Homan talking about national security with the border and with immigration and deportations. And then Scott Bessent talking about the economy. These are the things that you need an administration that knows what they're doing to come in and get to right away. But today's was framed as the press briefing on the 100 days of bringing back common sense. And I'm like, let's lean into that.
Last night, we saw yet again why President Trump is our deal maker in chief. We secured a historic agreement to establish the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. This is a first of its kind economic partnership for the reconstruction and long-term economic success of Ukraine that the United States will greatly benefit from. This partnership represents the United States taking an economic stake in securing a free, peaceful, and sovereign future for Ukraine. This partnership establishes a fund that will receive 50% of royalties, license fees, and other similar payments from natural resource projects in Ukraine. President Trump has been clear from the beginning. He wants the killing in this brutal war to end. This agreement shows how invested the president is in securing a truly lasting peace.
So Carolyn Levitt from the podium today talking more about efforts that this administration is the deal maker in chief. That's the way to summarize everything he's done. Everything he's done is based on deal making. He's not flexing the American military power against our enemies, although it's on the table. Everybody knows that that's on the table, but that's not where he's going with it. Economically, from a foreign policy standpoint, from a border security standpoint, and the way he has said to Mexico, like, you're going to help with this. And so the amount of people, I remember hearing this during the Tom Homan Monday press briefing, the amount of people who are being detained in Mexico before they ever get here. At the cabinet meeting yesterday, Kristi Noem was talking about deportations and the deportations of this administration compared to the deportations of the Biden administration and the ones preceding it. And Kristi Noem said this, and I thought, no, not really. But she said, we should count as Trump deportations the people that Mexico has apprehended that haven't even crossed the border yet, because that's a result of Donald Trump's policy. So if you were trying to measure apples to apples, Biden deported this many people, Trump only deported this many people. If you're keeping, I'm making up a number, 75% of the people don't actually get into the country because Mexico stops them. If you're trying to get an apples to apples number of people who are not in this country because of Donald Trump's policies, I understand what Secretary Noem is saying, because if they didn't ever get here because Donald Trump worked it out with the Mexican president to say, hey, we need you to not let these people cross the southern border. And the Mexican president said, okay, we'll help you with that. That's how you put policies in place that actually solve what? The problem. And which problem? The security problem for the American people. Not a political talking point problem where people will say, oh, well, Joe Biden deported so many more people than Donald Trump. I don't even know what you're talking about him with. I thought he was going to deport more people. They're going to take numbers, a statistic, completely reframe that matter, serve it up in a 3-minute MSNBC interview about how the president isn't deporting nearly as many people as he said he was going to. And it's going to be because every time the president says what percentage the border is closed, he adds a 9. 99.9%. 99.99%. During the prayer celebration or whatever that they just had at the White House, it was 3 nines. 99.999. And then he goes, that's like, we let 3 people in. I'm here for it. I think it's funny. But we're getting back to substance. And the only way that this works from a policy-based point, the only way that this works is if the American people aren't lapdogs just slurping up everything spoon-fed to them by the mainstream media. Because the mainstream media can frame the deportations of the Biden administration, just the number, against the deportations of the Trump administration, leave out the fact that the border is 99.9999% closed now, or secure, I should say. And the fact that we're not deporting people as much as Joe Biden did in these last weeks here, when it's been super secure on the border, means that there were less people to find and turn around and to say, go back home. They're not coming here. That's a policy-based solution that actually looks at a real problem that American taxpayers and voters and families are facing. And the Trump administration is out there securing that border, making good on the promise that they said that they would do. And you'll get the people who can't stand that Donald Trump is having this kind of success because of all of the issues that the Trump administration has solved or made incredible progress on in the first 100 days. Joe Biden himself said he cannot secure the border without Congress. He told us that he can't do it by himself. He doesn't have the executive authority to do it. He wanted to push what? The bipartisan bill in Congress that was not bipartisan at all. The Republicans who supported it at the beginning did not support it when it came time to pass it. All he wanted was a talking point. All of that was just to get a political talking point that Republicans have the opportunity to vote for real immigration reform and border security, and they won't play ball. And so he left the border wide open, so much so that almost immediately Donald Trump came in and with his executive authority actually secured the border. He didn't need Congress to do that. He doesn't need any congressional help to keep the border the way it is right now until he's not in office anymore. And then the next person can come in and use the executive authority that the Biden administration was too lame to try to do because they didn't want border security. They wanted border insecurity because that was Democratic Party security. And they've been banking on that for decades. And before everybody gets to the point where you're starting to think, oh, they're just importing votes. It's not even about votes, folks. It's not about bringing all these people and turning them into Democrat voters. It's about influencing the next census. And they had to do it right now because the next census is in about 5 years from now. And when they go through that census, if they can place these immigrants in our country in places where they can transform the congressional map, then they can influence their balance of power in Washington, D.C. And if they figure 50.1% of those people will vote Democrat, then it's a net gain for them no matter what. That's why they needed a scapegoat. Oh, the bipartisan bill, the Republicans won't support it. All that did was streamline the process of letting people in our country. It sent more agents to the border to be paper pushers. Look at the recruiting numbers. Look at the people who are trying to sign up right now to work in our ICE offices, in our law enforcement offices, in our military offices, who know that there's an actual mission that is America first that will help make America safe again. And the people who have the sense of mind to understand that there are bad guys and that there are good guys, and they want to make sure they protect the good guys from the bad guys, want to be back in a position to do that. They didn't under Joe Biden. Joe Biden turned all of our law enforcement and military operations into DEI factories, and nobody wanted to be involved in it anymore. None of this functions. None of the Trump successes would be believable as successes if the American people still trusted the agenda-driven media, and they don't. That's how you know that the successes have made it through to the mainstream people, to the voters, wherever they're getting their news from, which is probably a social media feed somewhere. That mainstream media can no longer create a narrative and an agenda to disparage a man, a president, with whatever story that they want to concoct to try to take him down. And it doesn't matter if it's true, if they can get the results that they want in time before the investigations and the truth comes out. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Congresswoman Mary Miller. I interviewed her in Washington, D.C. in her office, and we talked about the 100 days. We talked about families. We talked about Illinois. And you're going to get to listen to that interview coming up next. You can watch us on the Any Fry YouTube channel as well. You'll be able to see that interview, and you can come vote in today's YouTube poll. How do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? You love it, you hate it, or you're indifferent? Any Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
TheDittamoreGroup.com. That's the website if you're looking to hire a realtor. Whether you want to go buy a new home, you're relocating maybe in the area, Or if you're looking to sell your home, maybe you're downsizing. I know I talked to a lot of you and the kids have just moved out and you've got all this extra space. You don't like to clean it. You don't like to pay to heat it and to cool it. And you want something that is just customized for you. Well, the Dittamore Group can help you find that either side of the river. They are the #1 team in the #1 office in the Metro East. If you need a realtor, you need the Dittamore Group. Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha, the best team around, are going to guide you through the process of listing your home, of even considering listing your home. You don't have to be committed at all to listing it now in a month or whatever. You can just call them, start the conversation, because maybe everything depends on what you think you could get for your house right now and how much work you're going to have to put in to sell it. 618-531-4652. That's 618-531-4652. Reach out to the Dittamore Group online at thedittamoregroup.com.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim. And if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
Cardinals fans, there are more ways this season to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. For the first time, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. Monthly, seasonal, and annual packages available. Also new this season, you can stream FanDuel Sports Network through Amazon Prime Video with an add-on subscription. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Ramblers in the wilderness, we can't find what we need. We get a little rest.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Everybody needs someone beside them, shining like a lighthouse from the sea.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Back fresh from Washington, D.C. Got to sleep in my own bed last night. That was lovely. There's nothing like sleeping in your own bed.
With my little mini fridge next to it. You guys do that, right? What?
Mini.
What do you have in there? Is it milk?
No, I don't have milk in there. I have water. I have some of my medicine in there. Makes it real easy to just roll over in the middle of the night, get a drink.
Your medicine, does it have to be refrigerated?
Yes. So that's a good excuse to have it.
If you didn't have, when are you supposed to take that medicine?
Either morning or evening. So it's always
If you didn't have refrigerated medicine, would you still have the setup?
I would say no, because that was the origination of it. But now, if I got cured of that disease and didn't need the medicine, I would still always have the fridge. Once you go, you don't go back.
Yeah, I understand that. That's just funny. That's pretty funny.
It's a perfect nightstand.
You have water, medicine, and what?
Water, medicine. That's pretty much the main things. I'll keep a little something in there every now and then to eat.
Like a chocolate bar?
Yeah, like a sausage. Like one of those that you keep in the fridge.
No, I don't know what that is.
Some crackers, sausage, and cheese. I'm not saying all the time.
Is it cooked?
I used to. No. I mean, it's those
really
ones you
gross.
slice up. Once in a while, usually around New Year's, I keep a whole thing of pickled herring in there.
Okay.
It's mainly water and medicine, though.
Do you keep pickled herring in there? Do you eat pickled herring?
Sometimes. The problem is I always forget that I have food in there.
It's like every woman's dream to come into a man's bedroom and be like, what do you got in your fridge? Got some herring.
Yeah. Got some clothes on the floor and some herring in the fridge.
Congresswoman Mary Miller and I sat down for an interview in her office. I have to edit the video a little bit more than I thought that I already did. So we're going to get back to that. I'll probably air that at about 2:00, 2:05.
On Tuesday, you were not here yet. We played back the interview that you did with Eric Schmidt. We got a lot of really good feedback on that interview.
Yeah.
And it's weird to say that you should see it because you were there.
I was there.
But you should, obviously being there, it's different. Like being a consumer of the interview,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what you would think.
All right. Should we listen to it again?
If we can pull it up quick.
Yeah, I think I got it here.
Okay. Well, Eric Schmidt and I sat down. Senator Eric Schmidt, of course, I refer to him as my adopted senator. Maybe in Illinois, we'll get a senator that we can brag about. Whoever replaces Dick Durbin. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm waiting to hear some names. There's a couple names that I've heard that I am excited about, but we'll see as we get closer if those individuals decide to announce. But Senator Eric Schmidt sat down, and I kind of set this up the last time in a way that I want you to understand. When I go and I sat down with him, I wanted to have an interview that wasn't like every other interview you're going to hear him do on Fox News or News Nation or CNN if he goes on there or wherever. I know that you're listening here. Most of you, over half of you are listening here, and he is your elected official in the Senate. And I think it's important to understand who those people are as individuals and not just as like politicians that are sometimes from our end seem robotic, that they're real people. So we sat down and we had this conversation. So we are sitting in Senator Eric Schmidt's office. And as I was saying, my adopted Senator Eric Schmidt, thank you for the time today.
Glad to have you as an adopted constituent and
Yes.
then here in the swamp, I guess. So.
How much different is it? I don't know how often you've been coming to Washington, D.C. outside of course, being the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. How familiar does Washington, D.C. feel for you compared to St. Louis, Missouri?
It's a foreign land. I really had not spent much time in D.C. at all because I was in state politics and Attorney General. We would come here for a big announcement or maybe some meetings or something when I was AG, but very much kind of like you were here, maybe for a day or two and then you went back. So being here this amount of time, I think is new. And when I was sworn in back 2 years ago, I think I'd only been in the Capitol one time in my whole life.
Wow.
And so, so you get sworn.
Take a tour?
Yeah. It literally took a while to figure out where the bathrooms were, but my whole family came up and it was just a really special day, the swearing in and all that. And, being sworn in as the 2000th senator of all time on the dot, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, so, being here now for a couple of years, you certainly know your way around a little bit more. And then being in the majority now, has certainly changed things from my first 2 years. But I love this job, but I go back and forth every week. So
I was going to say, I see you travel a lot.
Yeah.
You go back to see your family.
Yeah.
I see you participating in your kids' events. I can't help but reflect when I'm here. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
About what the lifestyle is and the demand of what you have to do to serve the people of the state of Missouri and balance that with family. How do you do it?
That's the hardest part. Is my kids are. I have Steven, who's 20, with special needs. I've talked about that a bunch, and then a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old daughter. So I want to. The most important job I'll ever have is being Jamie's husband and my kid's dad. So you just try to balance it all. So when I'm home, I'm like volleyball dad for Olivia and helping Sophia with projects. She's a junior in high school, so I love that. And so I get up here as close to the first vote as I can on Monday, and then when we're done at the end of the week, I get back as fast as I can. So.
All right, let me ask you a dad question. You said it's the most important thing you do, and I'm saying this from personal experience. Last week, kid is late on getting a project done. They need a late night trip to Walmart to get a poster board or something like that. Are you the dad that stays up and cares about that final grade and going to help make that come to fruition? Or is that like life lesson time?
No, I mean, I would help. I mean, I don't know if that's a weakness or a strength. I don't really know. I don't really know.
Because I'm like, the grade matters. You need
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah, I think, so I will help, but then there's a lesson that comes with that too. It's like, hey, you can't wait till the last minute on these things. Knowing, by the way, that I'm sure I did that a bunch. And then even as a practicing lawyer, I mean, deadlines exist because that's the deadline, and usually kind of wait until you get close to the deadline because the other thing's going on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just try to be as present for them as possible. And I'm actually coming now to the very weird realization that, my time with them in the house, at least the 2 girls, is limited. It's not going to be long before.
That's heavy.
It is. And when they're young, you don't really, I didn't at least think about it in those terms. And so you just try to make the most of it. And I try to, talk to them about what I do, but also try to, I don't make this job like everything at home. Like I can't do it. I watch Cardinal games and get around and visit with people. But I think you got to make sure that they know that they're your priority when you're there.
Yeah.
And so being present with them is really important to me. And I try not to like inundate their life with the political. I want them to have as normal of a life as possible. And they've done a really good job with it. It's funny, they see the ads and all that stuff when you're running, and you don't really know how they're going to react to that. But
how do they react?
Well, they call them hate commercials, and they would say, "Dad, there's a lot of hate commercials about you right now."
Yeah.
But I'm their dad, and that's how they see me, and that's how I want them to see me. And so, we have just normal dad-daughter conversations, and it's not really about this other stuff. So.
I think I get a little bit of that from being a public figure in the news media, that people don't like something I said, then they make a deal out of it. Or my husband can be a little more worked up about it than my kids, but they're old enough now too that they see some of it. And I just think it's another opportunity to teach your kids that, listen, not everyone's going to like you, but what do you stand for? And if you stand for something, they're going to be people who feel differently. And some people don't handle it well.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the deal. And you do things for the right reasons and make good decisions. And then, and I think honestly, my time as Attorney General probably really drove that point home for me from a leadership perspective, because these were the COVID times, and it was just sort of like you still look back and you can't believe they're boarding up basketball hoops and putting police tape around playgrounds.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like even in the face of a lot of pressure to do otherwise, on the mask mandates or the vaccine mandates, I mean, we really led the charge on that. And at the time, if you go back in time, that was controversial. And now most people still see it for what it was. Yeah. But I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned there. I also think, just as a dad, you get people, there's the good and the bad, and you get people that certainly I appreciate, say hello and thanks. And I think, just handling yourself in those situations, because the kids, they're always watching, right? And so making sure you say thank you and waiters and waitresses are yes sir and yes ma'am, and those are that's how I was brought up, and those are the kind of lessons I want to teach them, and it has nothing to do with politics.
It's way more important than politics. Yeah. Politics is so much downstream. I know we have limited time with you, so I want to talk to you about the 100 days mark for the president's administration. You've served under a Biden administration, and you've served under a Trump administration. And, I was at the press briefing this morning.
Congrats, by the way. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. That was wild. And Secretary Bessent was there. And if I had the opportunity to ask the question, I was going to ask him about the American dream, because I think boomers and the greatest generation had this idea of an American dream. Something changed. I was born in the 80s. I'm in my 40s now. I think that if the Trump administration gets the tax cuts made permanent, the DOGE cuts and spending reined in, made permanent, and if the tariffs work out the way he says they are going to work out, that there's kind of a revival of an American dream that I don't think that millennials like me, I don't think they think about the American dream.
Yeah.
You think that the president is on his way to doing that?
I do. And I'm 49, so that's Gen X. That's what I want for my kids, right? Like at the end, look at what we were talking about for most of this interview so far. Yeah. It's really our kids and making sure they have a bright future ahead, they can achieve things. And I do think that's what this administration was all about. I think seeing the previous 4 years, the direction we were headed, there's a reason why President Trump won the popular vote. There's a reason why he swept those battleground states, because he was talking about things that really resonated with real people. The bubble up here, the things that are like top of mind, it's just not, it's generally not the case. When I go back home, people are not having the same conversations that they are here, which I keep that with me. I think that fuels me every day to be that voice for the people in Missouri, like this common sense agenda. And that's what this is. So look, whether it's energy policy, no country in the history of the world has ever declared war on their own domestic energy supply. That's what Joe Biden did. No country really in the history of the world has opened up their border to just anybody, unvetted, 15 million people here illegally. It was crazy. And I think what happened was these people who were generally writing white papers found their way into key decision-making positions in the Biden White House. And President Autopen was he wanted to kind of have a legacy as the next FDR. I mean, he talked about this, and it was the most radical administration we've ever seen. So really what President Trump is doing, I think it's hitting a reset. You've got these tax cuts that we need to make permanent. That would be a $4 trillion tax increase if we don't do that. He ran on that. He talked about energy and also on trade policy. The reality is, after World War II, we had priorities. We wanted Western Europe and Japan to get back on their feet. So we were determined to beat Soviet communism. So they had certain advantages in trade deals and sort of things that we allowed to take place so that ultimately we would win the Cold War. After the Cold War, though, nothing changed. Those still unfair trade practices that inhibit our markets, our goods and their markets still exist. No president has had the courage to stand up and say, you know what, treat us fairly. Yeah. This is an outdated model. And I think when we do that, the net of all of this is going to be these trade barriers and unfair trade practices that other countries have just sort of done and gotten away with. They're going to come down. And so you've got energy policy, you've got regulatory reform, you've got trade policy and energy policy. All that stuff will matter for real people. There have been 90,000 factories that have left since NAFTA. And so I just think of the community that I grew up in, North St. Louis County. You know, it was very blue collar, overwhelmingly Democrat, by the way. These are just working folks that wanted a better life, and those jobs were gone. Yeah. And this is an opportunity, I think, to bring some of those back, and for more people in the working class, middle class, to share in the American dream. Yeah. You know, some of the really wealthy folks, they've had a good run, and it's just time, I think, for regular people, normal people, to have an opportunity. And you saw that in President Trump's first term, right? Mm-hmm. You saw wage, inflation-adjusted wage increases were higher than they've ever been, and I think we're going to get back to that.
Well, Senator Eric Schmidt, I'm very grateful for your time. And as we started this interview talking about our families and our kids, it's all about the future. Yeah. And it's great to have a president that has an administration that is thinking about the future and, like you said, has the guts to do it, and senators like you who and the majority are helping get that done. So thank you so
Hey,
much.
it's been fun.
Really
Good to see you in person again.
So that was the conversation I had with Senator Eric Schmidt in his office. What an awesome experience in Missouri. Good grief. Well done on picking a real, I think that he would not mind me saying this, a real dude to represent you in the Senate. You can tell the people who have been in DC for quite some time. The people who are kind of, they start to, what am I thinking? There's some movie or something where people like start to be actually a physical part of their environment. Like they like grow into it or it grows over them or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Pirates of the Caribbean. They
Yeah,
became part of the
it's
ship.
it's what is that ship called?
The
Yo.
I was thinking of an 80s horror movie. So.
Same thing. Davy Jones Locker.
Yeah.
That's DC.
The Flying Dutchman is the ship.
There you go. The Flying Dutchman. Thanks, guys. That is not Eric Schmidt. That's not the way he is. He is attached to home. He's detached from DC. He comes to bring some of Missouri into DC, not to bring some of DC back to Missouri. And I just think that's great.
I asked you a long, wandering, pointless question that was attempting to ask that question on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was like about the swamp and like seeing people there and versus here and all that stuff. And
Should we go back and play it?
No, you at the end of it, you go, what was the question?
Oh.
I was like, well, it's kind of about that.
I'm not going to lie. When you were asking that question, that might have been one of the times where Apple Music just randomly opened and one of 3 songs I have on there was blaring in my
Darn
ear.
right, it wasn't me.
I mean,
it was you.
I would not say this if it wasn't true. It might not have been you. Let's take a quick break. We're going to hear from Congresswoman Mary Miller. We should have Tyrus at 1:05, but sometimes his schedule conflicts, and we always say, just let us know at that moment. We're always happy to have him when he is available to us. So we hope to connect with Tyrus at the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour. Joe Concha is with us at 1:25, and his book, The Greatest Comeback Ever, which I am halfway through. I need you to get it right now. You need to get that book before his interview starts, because this is the read that you've been wanting. This is just pure joy in a book. And if you get the audiobook like I did, Joe will read it to you. All right. Are we going to do Wiggins America when we come back? Or are we going to
We're going to wait. We're going to wait.
So just to tease people, Wiggins America is going to be in the 1 o'clock hour, if not 2:05, but probably 1:40. And it is about
how to survive an alien invasion.
Okay.
Whether you have the capabilities.
Notes?
Oh, no, this is multiple articles, not just one. This is multiple sources.
Did you write all of them?
Yes.
So
they're all from Odyssey.
This is like what BuzzFeed did to get the Russian dossier as a real story. Yeah. Write an article and then have somebody report on the article and say sources say.
I
and then
sourced this from KFTK St. Louis.
Before you know it, you can be impeached, Ryan. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Let me be your shelter. Never leave all alone. I could be the one to call when you feel alone. Brother, let me be your fortress. When the night will shine on. Be the one light the way. Bring it home.
The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. Do yourself a favor and visit the website retirementkey.com and learn about the details of our upcoming event. I love seeing you at these events. And if you haven't been to one, or if you want to follow up from one, maybe you went years ago, because they've been doing these for years, with 97.1 and Annie Fry Show listeners that hear this and go, oh, well, you know what? That's actually now me. That 59 and a half years of age is a magic number for retirement. You need to connect with the Retirement Advisory Group, and this is the way to do it. Together with myself, Mark Cox, and Mark Reardon, we will all be together. Here's the date and the time: Tuesday, May 20th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. I get there at 6, and from 6 to 6:30, Mark and I will hopefully meet everybody who's in the room, but you do need to reserve your spot. I want you to call 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you and you'd like to go to this free event. It won't take up all your whole evening. It'll be quick. It'll be easy. It will be helpful. RetirementKey.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
The Diamond Shop graduation sale. All watches are 20% off, even Movado. Men's jewelry is 40% off. 40% off Pirelli G and gold fashion jewelry. Everything else is 30% off. The Diamond Shop.
How do you feel about, well, not just Canada, but especially how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada?
Yeah, this is not how do you feel about Canada. That's a different question.
That is a very, very different question, but it plays into this question. So it's something you have to consider when answering. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you indifferent toward Trump's handling of Canada? Let us know what you think. It's the YouTube live chat poll. 12:52. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Congresswoman Ann Wagner.
As we get this big, beautiful bill across the finish line, the House is going to try and do its work over the next several weeks. Then we'll kick it to the Senate. Hopefully by the 4th of July, we'll come to something.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Never made it as a wise man. I couldn't cut it as
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
This is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am.
Nickelback fan. Are you love it, indifferent, or hate it? Like today's YouTube poll about Trump's handling of Canada.
I would say I'm still borderline hate it, but I'm becoming indifferent to it.
And you hate it because that's what everybody does.
No, I hate it because it's Nickelback.
That's what everybody says.
Nickelback, okay, when it's new music, you have to judge it based on what it is in the moment.
Do they have new music?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm becoming indifferent because it's older. It's because I don't care as much. When it was new, I hated it. I hated it, and I still feel that hate now, but it's just reminiscent.
Kind of like them. I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but I kind of like them.
So you're on the you're on the entering love it side, and Ryan's on the exiting hate it side.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me think about high school.
That's why I hate it, because it makes me think about the moment in time when I hated it.
That's weird. Let's see here. I want to play for some, sometimes the folks, they just do our job for us. We don't even really have much to add to it. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett doing Jasmine Crockett things.
As far as I'm concerned, you randomly kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like that is absolutely insane. So yes, all I got to say is y'all need to get these fools out of here. But I'm
What? Whoa, wow. A couple of turns there.
Is she a closeted Republican?
Y'all need to get these people out of here. She concludes.
That is, quote, insane, end quote.
All right.
Just in case.
But
just in case you didn't quite catch that.
as far as I'm concerned, you randomly kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against
Hold on. This is where it gets real good.
Their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like that is absolutely insane.
Preach it, sister.
Was she live when she posted this?
This is a selfie.
Or did she record this and then think, boy, that was really good? Because that's an extra filter that you could have stopped it there, This is
everything else to add.
This is one of those videos that a lot of times you come back out of something like this and you go, now let's frame this up and realize the argument that she's making. You don't even need to do that.
I have enough respect for our listeners to not explain it any more than she already kind of laid it out there.
Yeah, you
for
don't
us.
have to.
She says it like this. She goes, frankly, I'm like, thanks for giving it to us straight there, Congresswoman.
I would give her a little bit of a Midwest ope if if that had been live, that she just said, oh shoot. Oh, well,
Of which she should be familiar because she is from here, you know. Pride of St. Louis. Maybe Tyrus when we come back. If so, I'm going to ask him about Tim Walz saying that he was named the vice presidential candidate so he could code talk to white dudes. Tyrus, hopefully you're with us next. If not, we've got Mary Miller coming up as well.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you're still healthy and qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
May is a great time to exercise your Second Amendment rights at the Range St. Louis West. If you're a member this month, they're going to double the discount on firearms from 5 to 10%. Membership has its privileges, and accessories are always 10% off, ammo 10% off, classes 15% off. You get free lanes and free rentals with over 120 firearms on the Range. Check them out at 14803 Manchester Road or shop online at therangestl.com.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. the easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
I'm Danny Cohn, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. This past week, the Jewish holiday of Yom HaShoah commemorated the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust and remembered the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. As Jews, when we recall the atrocities of the Holocaust, we say, never again. This is not a slogan or a tagline. It's a responsibility we all share to prevent the systematic hatred from going unchecked. When we work together to fight against prejudice and bigotry towards everyone, we create a better community for everyone.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A White House exit. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A top official, the president's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, is on his way out. Fox News confirming he's stepping down along with a deputy weeks after his office mistakenly added a journalist to a group chat about military plans on the Signal app.
What has been interesting, of course, is some of the immediate questions about why now, because it was just yesterday that Waltz was at the table among cabinet members in the cabinet room for nearly 2 hours and had a chance to brief the president about those national security priorities.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. This follows recent Pentagon firings in a leak investigation. No mention about Waltz from President Trump as he marked the National Day of Prayer in a Rose Garden event. A federal judge in Texas says using the Alien Enemies Act to deport suspected criminal illegal aliens exceeds the scope of the law, and that the Trump administration has to use a different law requiring more due process for deportations. The judge rejecting the president's position that a foreign gang is invading the U.S. under the Venezuelan government's direction, a legal fight that's on a path to a federal appeals court. Democrats in Congress say they will keep fighting mass deportations.
You think you can take steps like this without Congress challenging your executive overreach? You're wrong. We're going to challenge your overreach at every instance when we can.
Virginia's Tim Kaine, one of several senators introducing legislation that would force the State Department to issue a human rights report about El Salvador and a report detailing steps taken to comply with court orders on people wrongly deported. The U.S. Supreme Court ordered the administration to facilitate the return of a Maryland resident who's from El Salvador, was in the U.S. illegally and accused of being a gang member, which his attorneys deny.
We removed the public safety threat, gang member, designated terrorist, who's been ordered twice to be deported from the United States.
Borders Czar Tom Homan says they did the right thing. America is listening to Fox News.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No question we are stuck in a weather pattern. Periods of showers through the afternoon. A couple of non-severe thunderstorms. It's not going to be raining all the time. 76 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers. Couple of non-severe thunderstorms scattered about. 55. Friday, partly sunny. Keep the idea of a shower here and there. A lot of dry time Friday, 69, and a good-looking weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Rulerfoods.com. I want you to check out rulerfoods.com so you can find the one closest to you, the one that is closest and conveniently located for you. There are quite a few Ruler Foods throughout the bi-state area. All you got to do is go to the website, type in your zip code, and you will quickly find the Ruler Foods that best services you. You can save right now on a bunch of different things. Those grilling needs right now at Ruler Foods. Get all of your grilling essentials for less. Juicy Bar S hot dogs and fresh Kroger buns. Perfectly melty Kroger sliced cheese, Kroger ketchup, Kroger mustard, and Kroger barbecue sauce. And also, don't forget the baked beans from Kroger and the Kroger charcoal to keep that grill going all summer long. Kroger Foods, those types of brands, you're going to find those at Ruler Foods prices. The other brands that you're used to getting, you're going to be able to find those as well. And don't forget, you can get these savings delivered directly to your door. You go to rulerfoods.com and set up a delivery and have it come right to you wherever it is convenient. Go find them all online at rulerfoods.com.
This could be the number one tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Who has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis? Is J.D. Powers Award winner 5 years in a row and has the nation's best warranty coverage. Renewal by Andersen, that's who. Take advantage of our great May sale. $279 off every window and $729 off every entry door or patio door with 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months. Check it out at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. Renewal by Andersen, a better way to a better window.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Thursday. We're glad you're here with us at 107 on the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Come join us. Come say hi. We'd love to see you. We're real close to 12,000 subscribers on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're asking you in the live chat of today's live broadcast, how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? We kind of talked about this. Was it yesterday? Well, I guess it was because I've only been with you for a full day this week since yesterday.
I'm going to say it was yesterday.
Yesterday. How do we all feel about the 51st state thing, the Governor Trudeau? Trump went in kind of hard on the Canada, like the picking on Canada kind of thing. And I saw a lot of people speaking on this from a social media standpoint that weighed in on not liking the tone. And I don't think that it was as much that he said it. It was the frequency with which he said it. I'm pretty sure hate it is strong, but I'm more hated it than indifferent. Because I don't think that the material nature of attacking Canada the way the administration attacked Canada was, I don't think that we were going to get to the other side of that. There are things that he's saying he's going to do that I believe he's going to do. I don't think I ever really bought into the 51st state idea. And I don't know that it just seemed like the shiny object that he couldn't stop following.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on this, but I don't love. He didn't really need to inflame it the way that he did, so I don't like that. I would lean toward hate it on that. But the problem is, well, since the question is, how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? He's going to hurt them economically, and not because he hates them, but because he's like, these deals aren't good. They've never been good for us.
He's balancing it out.
They need to change, and when we change them, you're going to feel real pain here. And so I think he was getting ahead of that and saying, look, we could change our entire relationship, but the way that he did it, it kind of pushed him away further. So
yeah, I think that's a good point, that the if you're talking about how he's handling Canada, you could talk about what he's doing and what he's saying. And what he's doing, I'm interested in that. I want to know how that shakes out. What he's saying, I thought it was funny when Trudeau went to Mar-a-Lago and sat down with President Trump, and he's like, Governor Trudeau. I thought that was funny.
I did too.
And I also think when it involves Trudeau, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Like, without the 51st state thing, like, towards the people of Canada, if it's all wrapped into just Trudeau, I'm actually saying I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The trouble is, he really could have wrapped this up and said, look, we're going to have to change our relationship. You're going to feel some pain because we have to change these deals. We can do this very nicely, though. And he didn't do that. He basically said, we're in the position of strength. You're not.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen.
I'm much more inclined. I would vote indifferent on this.
I am too.
But indifferent is not an endorsement on Trump like I am on usual things. So indifferent is like a step back, like, I'm going to sit this one out. If someone came up and be like, how do you justify how he's talking about Canada? I'd be like, I don't really have to.
Yeah.
That's not really my job. There are other things that people said, how do you justify Trump's support for blah, blah, blah? I'm like, well, A, B, C, and D, and E, and F, and G. And this one, I'm just like, you'd have to ask him. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Oh, man. Congresswoman Mary Miller sat down with me while we were in Washington, D.C., while I was in Washington, D.C., and we were able to discuss quite a few things. Of course, this week, as a lot of people acknowledge, congratulate the president on his first 100 days. Many other people would be detractors of the president's first 100 days. Congresswoman Mary Miller is not going to be a detractor. She might be his number one cheerleader in the House of Representatives and has always been tried and true, a major MAGA supporter. We had a great conversation. It was nice to sit down and speak with her about families and also about things that are in Illinois. And so let's listen in, Brad, to the
We are sitting in Congresswoman Mary Miller's office. Very excited to have a conversation with another Southern Illinois representative here in Washington, D.C. Thank you for the time today.
Well, you're welcome. Great to see you out here.
So I'm out here for the 100 days of the second term, I should say, of Donald Trump's administration. First things first, how do you feel the president's doing?
Oh my, A+. Trump 2.0 is even better than Trump first term because of the pace that he's accomplishing his agenda. So, he wants our country to be strong, safe, and secure, and he's getting it done. So, especially at the border.
So I think that yesterday I was at the press briefing with Tom Homan, and listening to Tom Homan have the resolve on that clear-eyed focus about doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. There are people who want to throw, accusations or insults his way, Trump's way, about what they're doing, make it a super emotional story. Right. But Donald Trump and the people who he has empowered in this administration understand what the good and right thing is. And it seems like all the noise doesn't affect them.
I don't think it does. And President Trump loves our country, and he's proven it. And the first role of the government is to protect the people. So we have to secure our borders. I was saying from the very beginning, President Biden and Mayorkas, in my opinion, guilty of treason to open up our border, to advertise and facilitate the invasion. And can you even imagine that they flew in, according to President Trump, 10,000 convicted murderers and 16,000 convicted rapists into our country? Who would do that unless it's someone that hates our country? But I believe that they want to completely overthrow the country, which Barack Obama said that was his dream, is that we would fundamentally change our country. Yeah. But one of the methods that those people use is chaos and overwhelming the system, which is what they tried to do. And they've left President Trump and his people a mess. Yeah. But he's undeterred.
And he's done a really good job of staying the course, and 100 days in, with a lot of days yet to go to still get the job done. It seems as though he's made progress on most of his campaign promises. Let's take it home to Illinois a little bit for a minute. So I know in the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker this weekend made some comments, and he's trying to get people riled up. He says that we need to be castigated at the soapbox or whatever and beaten at the ballot box. I don't really know what that means per se, but I understand that if the Republicans were saying it, they'd be talking about rhetoric and inflammatory language.
Completely.
How do you feel about the governor?
I can't really say it. I mean,
Sure you can.
Well, he wants to run for president.
Yeah.
But he's been an utter failure as a governor. He's been overseeing the demise of our state in every way. Population, we're bleeding population. Industries leaving. We were a net exporter of energy. Now we're importing energy. We're not a safe state. We're a sanctuary state. We are spending billions of dollars on illegals, and he is defying federal law by harboring criminal aliens.
So, Congresswoman, when you and I generally have conversations, we get to talk about families and we get to talk about children. And I think about the first 100 days of Trump's administration on the second term. There's such big transformative ideas that I feel as though he is giving me hope as a parent for the future, that maybe that American dream that I you remember the Greatest Generation, my grandparents, my boomer parents' age, like the idea of an American dream was something that people pursued. But as a 40-something millennial myself, I don't really know that my peers think about an American dream. I think that that's kind of been diminished a little bit. But with the changes that the Trump administration is putting in, I feel like that might be in reach in a way that hasn't been before. What do you think about the future for our kids and how this administration is looking towards them?
I feel very hopeful. President Trump is restoring the foundation of our country, which first of all is faith and family. And then also what every American wants. They want to feel safe and secure in their communities. They want economic opportunities, and they want their children to get excellent educations. And, obviously, to be safe and secure, you have to restore the border and deport the illegals that are here. Economic opportunity, we need one of his great accomplishments from the first term, deregulation. So if you combine him securing for us better trade agreements, tax cuts, and deregulation, I think that we're going to look forward to a booming economy.
One of the things that you've championed a lot is the difference between boys and girls.
Yes.
And the idea that boys shouldn't be playing in girls' sports and that girls should feel safe and protected in the private spaces that they have. The state of Illinois has not agreed with the president's movement on keeping boys out of girls' sports. I know that the IHSA, the Athletic Association for the high schools in the state of Illinois, has kind of tried to just back out of it and not take either side, which landed them against the Trump pressure to separate those.
Well, they actually took a side.
They did.
Because they're ignoring President Trump's
That's true.
Executive orders. So they took a side, and the whole purpose of the IHSA is to make sure that we have, fair competition. And it is not fair to let men and girls athletics. It will destroy girls athletics.
What do you think? If you're, we'll have a lot of Illinois folks listening to this interview. What if they maybe didn't realize that the IHSA wasn't taking an active role in making sure that boys and girls were separated in sports? Do you have any advice for those folks listening right now as to what they can do to put some pressure?
Well, first of all, I am calling on Attorney General Pam Bondi to come in and investigate what's going on. For parents, I think. And I have 5 daughters and 10 granddaughters.
Yeah.
So 100%, if your daughter is being put up against a team or someone competing against them as an individual that is male, I think that they should opt out of the competition.
Would you like folks to contact you in the state of Illinois if they're facing that situation?
Absolutely.
I want you to contact Congresswoman Mary Miller.
Parents, get involved.
Yeah.
Even in education, I say all the time, communities thrive when the schools and the parents work together. Parents are in the driver's seat for education, for athletics, for protecting our kids.
So before I let you go, we're speaking here with Congresswoman Mary Miller. Talk to me about the Illinois election that's coming up, because Governor J.B. Pritzker hasn't said that he's not running for his third term. He could run again. Pretty clear he's trying to maybe be the president of the United States. But we also know that Senator Durbin is not running for re-election. What's your advice to Illinois voters and the Illinois Republican Party on how to make sure we win?
Well, we have had low voter turnout, which I think passing a voter ID law will help states like Illinois. We need to get people out.
Do you mean that federally, a voter ID law? Okay.
Yeah. But I think we need to get people out to vote. So local grassroots effort are very important. The precinct committeemen need to know how many votes they have, and they need to make sure that they harvest those votes, that they go out and chase those ballots. And it's my husband says all the time, if we could just get gun owners out to vote, we could win.
Yeah.
And if the registered Republicans would come out to vote, we could win.
Well, I think turnout is absolutely where it is. And we've seen the state of Illinois has dramatically shifted in the way of Donald Trump. And because of the gerrymandering of the districts, we didn't see that.
I do want to tell the listeners that George Washington actually did not win that many battles, but ultimately he won because he didn't quit. And the left wants us to be discouraged. We cannot quit. We have to keep on for our children's sake.
I love it. That's exactly the right message. Congresswoman Mary Miller, thank you. It's so good to be here.
Thanks for coming in.
So Congresswoman and I sat down to have that conversation. Really enjoyed that. She had her office all ready for us. It was so great to go in there and have that discussion. Hope you like that. That's some of our coverage from my Washington, D.C. trip earlier this week to be able to participate in the White House press corps, to go to Capitol Hill, and a huge thank you to Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan for making this possible, to Grasser Electric for all of your electric needs. If you have an emergency repair situation, if you want to refit your home with up-to-date and future-proof your home with electrical needs, Grasser Electric can help you there as well. All right, quick break. When we come back, Joe Concha joins us, and Joe and I have been hanging out lately, not in person, but through his new book, which is out now. It's called The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big, Beautiful Campaign. I have the audio book and he reads it and it's fantastic. I'm halfway through. I think I'm on the Mike Walls. See, this is a problem today. The Tim Walz chapter. He talks a lot about how Tim Walz is Midwestern, and I'm like, I am mad about the sustained correlation between Tim Walz and the Midwest. Why you got to do us like that?
Open with that.
Open with it. But I mean, isn't the whole point, and I'm halfway through the chapter, they probably will make that point, that he didn't sell the Midwestern thing, and J.D. Vance is sitting by in the wing doing his Midwestern thing, which is kind of snarky, funny comments from the back.
So you're at the cliffhanger part where you don't know the answer to that question in the book yet?
I don't know Joe Concha's answer.
Okay.
But it's been greatly entertaining up to this point. It's called The Greatest Comeback Ever, but Joe Concha is with us next.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, I want you to give them a visit. They've got 3 locations in St. Louis. If you know that it's time to do the flooring shopping thing, you're probably going to want to go in store. If you are just thinking to yourself about replacing the carpet, you've lived too much life on that carpet. It's been there forever. You bought the house and it was there. You need to replace it. You want Michael's Flooring Outlet. Maybe you're shopping for that Mohawk Silk brand, the Smart Strands, silky softness, superior performance with 3 times more individual fibers than ordinary nylon carpet. You want quality, you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, and you aren't gonna overpay at Michael's Flooring Outlet either. The 3 locations that they have ready to welcome you in St. Charles County, also in West County and in Darien Prairie. But if you go online to the Michael's Flooring Out website, it's at igotfloored.com, igotfloored.com. You can request an estimate exactly there from the White House. You can also, from the website. It's getting into my head. I need to purge it from my head. I need sleep. To your house, they can come out to your home and give you an in-home consultation. So reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Talk to them about what your needs are. You can do it digitally. You can go to one of their 3 stores. You can connect with the store that you might want to visit in the future. But Michael's Flooring Outlet, they are there to guide you through this process and make you feel comfortable and excited about your new flooring purchase. igotfloored.com.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The warm weather may have you thinking about your backyard. Let's make it better this year with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mention my name, Mark Cox, and get their special discount of the month for May, 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Now, they do free in-home estimates, no obligation, free project design. They've got an extensive digital photo gallery of completed projects. If you don't have something specific in mind, they can do beautiful wood or vinyl fencing. Same with their decks. Those vinyl decks are maintenance-free, and they're fantastic. And, of course, maybe you're considering a custom sunroom, a custom screen room, pergolas, patios, retaining walls. They can do it all. And having their sign in your yard is a sign that you have the very best. Be sure and check them out online and tell them that Mark Cox sent you so you can get that 48 months interest-free financing. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save now with 2024 pricing and Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $1,700 on a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Joe. I don't know. I was on the ticket. I would argue because we did a lot of amazing progressive things in Minnesota to improve people's lives. But I also was on the ticket, quite honestly, because I I could code talk to white guys watching football, fixing their truck, doing that I could put them at ease. I was the permission structure to say, look, you can do this and vote for this. And you look across those swing states, with the exception of Minnesota, we didn't get enough of them. I know.
Oh, what you know, Joe. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor.
Well, I needed to get one of those white dudes that was being code talked to by Tim Walz here to explain what is this guy doing? What is he talking about? Who's he talking to?
He's not talking to me. I am a football coach, okay? I am undefeated in my spring league right now with my 9-year-old, okay? Flag football, but it still counts, damn it.
Football's football.
Football's football. But you remember, this was the most infuriating part of the last campaign, Annie, and thank you for having me, was when Tim Walz is playing AOC in like Madden football, a video game. And he says, oh, that AOC could run a mean pick six. And I screamed at the TV. I go, you don't run a pick six. You know football, Annie, right? It's organic. It just kind of happens. You know, you jump around, a ball's tipped, something. You don't run a play that says we're going to get a pick six now. It doesn't exist.
Every defensive play is a pick six, you hope, in some regards.
Exactly.
If it's a passing play.
Yeah, they're rare-ish, but still. I don't want to get in the weeds in this. Remember when he also changed an air filter on his truck, but the one he took out was completely clean? Or he didn't know how to load a gun? I could go on and on. Or, I was in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre. No, actually, he was in a Nebraska cornfield. I mean, the worst by far candidate, the worst decision by any candidate in terms of Kamala Harris, where you had Josh Shapiro. I always say it. He's that fastball right down the middle on a 3-1 count. That's the guy you take. It's the state you need. He's popular there. And she goes with, the goofy 80s sitcom dad instead. And he's still talking. Stop.
Yeah, and he's saying the same things. I found it ironic that he said that he was basically, in his words, he was chosen as the vice president because he was a white dude, and Kamala Harris was apparently chosen to be Biden's vice president because she was a woman of color. And this has not worked out so well. At least it didn't in the last election. But the Democrat, I don't look at the Democrat Party right now like they're getting the message. Are they getting the message?
They're being consulted by somebody who is giving, let's put it this way, the RNC should double the pay of whoever's consulting this party at this point. It's just that bad, right? I mean, Chuck Schumer says we're going to do an all-nighter to protest Trump's first 100 days in office. He couldn't even get to midnight. It's like all-nighter means not until, Jimmy Fallon is off the air. Like it means the whole night. So it's all performative at this point. They have no leader. They have no message. They're still reeling from November 5th. And the fact that Kamala Harris got 75 million votes and she's talking about what? Elephants? Do we have that clip?
I got to get that one dug up. I know we've got it here. I texted you earlier this week. I'm showing the folks my Audible account, the greatest comeback ever. Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Campaign, a nice little way from McDonald's Donald Trump. Your new book is out, and I'm halfway through it. I'm in the Kamala Seinfeld, A Campaign About Nothing chapter, and I was listening to this. I was blessed with the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. on Monday and Tuesday and join the press corps at the White House, and just what an experience that was. When I finally got
room, isn't it?
Oh, teeny, yeah, it's a lot smaller than you think. When I finally got some downtime, I'm like, I'm just going to walk the mall, and I'm going to walk until I don't want to walk anymore. And I pulled your book up and staring at the Washington Monument in one direction, the White House in another, and the U.S. Capitol in the other. I'm listening to the story of Donald Trump's greatest comeback ever. And I am imploring everybody listening, and I don't always do this when people have books, everybody listening, when you are feeling down, you turn on this book and listen to it on Audible, go buy it, sit down and read it, and it will make you feel good. You did such a great job telling the story.
Wow, the Venmo went through.
Yes, that's right.
God. I've gotten some really good reviews on this. This was my favorite book of the three that I've written because it wrote itself, right? Exactly. I mean, this campaign, that stretch from June 27th, the debate in Atlanta where Joe Biden's brain turned applesauce right in front of the whole country when we've been talking about it for years, but finally everybody else got to see it. And then, what was it, 16 days later, Donald Trump is nearly assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then while you're still reeling from that, 2 days after that, there he is at the RNC with a bandage on his ear. And the first day the RNC also chooses J.D. Vance, which a lot of people didn't expect. And then 6 days after that, Joe Biden drops out. And a couple hours after that, Kamala Harris is basically Soviet-style coordinated as the next nominee. So that stretch alone, and that's history right there. And the fact that Donald Trump, the reason why it is the greatest comeback ever, is because he overcomes 94 felony charges, right? Including those 34 felony counts against him. He survives 2 assassination attempts. He survives a patently dishonest and hostile media. And he survives, obviously, the summer of joy and Brad Summer and Kamala Harris and all the advantages that she was given. And despite all of this, he wins the popular vote in every swing state. And Republicans take back the Senate and hold the House. I mean, this is something 2 years ago I could never have predicted. I'm glad that I have one of the few books out there that has access to the president. I interview him for the book as well. You'll get to that in the last chapter. And I got to ride in the motorcades, got to be in the Trump plane, was backstage. It was a wild ride, Annie, that's for sure.
And you take us along. I mean, we were all there as all of these major events were happening, consuming it in our various ways. We're speaking with Joe Concha, whose latest book is The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Campaign. There's a ton of news stories that I could talk to you about right now, but I really do want to key in on this book because with it being the 100 days acknowledgement of their administration and how much they've gotten done after he wins the election, after he's inaugurated, the interesting thing I didn't realize as we've been mentioning this book for a couple of months here is that you started kind of putting things down pen to paper before you knew that he was going to win. It's not like you won and you threw this together. You didn't really know how this book was going to end when you started writing it.
No, definitely when I started writing it, I didn't know. I had a good feeling. Just remember, it was Biden, Trump. And this was like February of 2024 where I pitched my publisher on doing it. And he says, all right, roll the dice. And if he doesn't win, then you'll just write about something else. I'm like, okay. So it was a big bet, right? But you saw Biden, the way he was acting, and then you saw the numbers like inflation over 9%, border crossings, 10,000 a day, crime driving people out of cities like St. Louis, Minneapolis, San Francisco, New York to red states like Tennessee and Texas and Georgia and so on. And Florida, obviously. So I saw that the state of the country. I knew that Biden couldn't run another basement campaign because COVID wasn't a thing anymore where they could hide him. And I knew he would be exposed eventually. And in the end, Donald Trump, as he's proving now, 100 days in, he was on the right side of every 80-20 issue. So between that, Annie, and the fact that Teamsters poll came out, it was internal, and it showed Joe Biden up 10 points among the rank and file on Donald Trump when Biden was in the race. Kamala gets installed, and then they do another poll internally, and Trump's up by 30. And the minute I saw that, I said, he's winning. I mean, if you don't have the union vote, you don't have enough black voters for up to score in major cities, and you don't have a Latino vote, all that's left is unfortunately, childless cat ladies, and that's not enough to win an election.
It wasn't enough. I'm going to set this clip. I'm going to play a clip here for you to react, because the question that I have for you when you wrote the book and you finished it, and we all know how American history shakes out here. You said the greatest comeback ever. I want to know, after we play this clip, if he won the election or if she lost it. Let's listen in.
In fact, please allow me, friends, to digress for a moment. Okay.
Oh, no.
It's kind of dark in here, but I'm asking for a show of hands. Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind. Everybody's asking me what you've been thinking about these days. Well,
it's so painful. I want to stop it, and I can't, because we need to know how this story ends. Why is this funny to her? Did Donald Trump win it? Did she lose it? Combination of both. What do you think, Joe Concha?
Both. Yeah, definitely both. Because give you one example. Donald Trump goes to the Al Smith dinner in New York, right? Deep blue city.
Yeah.
She blows it off, sends in a video starring Molly Shannon as Mary Catherine, the girl who wipes her armpits whenever she gets nervous.
It's like, what do they think of Catholics?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, Molly Shannon, just a couple of months before that, said that Catholicism is a cancer that needs to be eradicated. And that's the person that you decide to send a video along to, and it got booed, like in the hall. So you're like, boy, that's a bad excuse. And then meanwhile, Trump was hilarious. He's like, wow, it's the first time I've come to Manhattan in some time where I haven't been served with a subpoena. I'm like, oh, that's fine. But the best line was, I keep hearing that there's more than one gender, more than two genders, and I just couldn't buy it. But then I met Tim Walz, and I found that. I mean, deadpan, boom. I mean, hilarious, right? Or white dudes for Harris. He goes, I'm not so worried about them because they're going to end up voting for me, and their lovers are going to end up voting for me as well. Like something like that. I don't know. So the little things like that, Trump, good decision to go there. It's actually an easy decision. Or go to McDonald's, right? And that photo goes viral. And at the same time, it proved that Kamala Harris never worked at a McDonald's, because she never talked about it again after that, because she wrote 2 memoirs and never mentioned once that she worked there. There isn't one person in this country that says, oh, yeah, I worked with her. Yeah, no, she's telling the truth. No one did. And little things like that, plus the blowing of $1.5 billion so you could hire like Beyonce to speak for 3 minutes at a rally so you could pump up the crowd and make the numbers look better. You could just go on and on. Trump won this, though, ultimately, because he out-hustled his opponent like he always does, just outworked her. I mean, he did 7 rallies in the final 2 days on no sleep. He just seemed to want it more, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, because I don't know if she felt like she just was entitled to it or if her heart wasn't in it, but he did absolutely want it more, and he did out hustle her. Before we let you go, we're speaking with Joe Concha. You've written the book about the greatest comeback ever. Anybody who celebrated the day that Donald Trump won his second term, this is the walkthrough of how we got there, and it's fun to go relive it and to experience everything and be like, oh my gosh, that's right, that did happen. Give us your thoughts real quick before we let you go. Since he's been inaugurated, the first 100 days, how's he doing?
I look at numbers, right? So try to take opinion out of it. I see inflation at 2.4%. It fell last month. It was over 9% under Joe Biden. That's good. Unemployment's around 4%. That's good. Border crossings are down 99%. That is amazing, considering that not one more inch of wall was built. We just had a different president, and they're sending a different message, and a couple thousand National Guard troops, and boom, it solved the problem, right? So I look at those 3 things, and those are major accomplishments. The tariffs and the trade, however, that's the big bet. First 100 days, fine. You're going to break some eggs. There's going to be some volatility. Let's see what happens in the next 100 days, Annie. Let's see if we can get those 0 for 0 tariff deals with places like India and the EU and eventually China. And then let's see, obviously, that big, beautiful bill with all the tax cuts that are in it that's going to really provide rocket fuel for the economy. The next 100 days, then I could tell you how I'll grade Donald Trump. But right now, it's only 100 days. We still got 45 months left in this presidency. He's only been there 3 months. It feels like 3 years.
Yeah, amen to that. Joe Concha, thank you for writing this book, truly, to be able to have this timeline of events. It's so wonderful to go back through it. I'm reading it through listening to it. Your voice has been narrating it, and I've been listening at 2 times the speed. You get a lot of words in, Joe, at 2 times the speed. I appreciate it.
That's hilarious. All right, enjoy. And we'll do this again soon. Thanks, Annie.
Thanks, Joe. Goodbye. Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor. You can find him on X at Joe Concha TV, and the book is The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big, Beautiful Campaign. I listened to this book in Washington, D.C., after I got done with everybody who I was able to talk to on Capitol Hill, Senator Schmidt, Congressman Mike Bost, Congressman Darren LaHood, Congresswoman Mary Miller, and I knew I had some work to do to get all this stuff edited and try to get everything organized because I was flying out the next day. And I left the Capitol and I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'll just Uber back to the hotel and I'll just start getting my work done. And I looked at Ubers, and pretty much my Ubers back and forth were somewhere between $9 and like $14 or $15. And when I pulled up the Uber from the very exit of the Capitol where I was talking to the congressman, it was like $40. And I'm like, good grief, that seems like a lot. I was like, I'll just walk a little bit. Maybe I'll walk a little bit closer, get to the other side of the White House, and maybe it'll go down there. And so I thought, well, I'll put Joe Concha's book on in my ear. And so as I was walking around the Capitol building, which is just magnificently beautiful, most things in Washington, D.C. that you see are smaller than you think, or maybe the way they've been depicted in movies or TV shows or photographs. It's kind of hard to get the perspective of what they're really going to be like. There are several things like the Lincoln Memorial. When you go in and you see Abraham Lincoln, it's massive. The Washington Monument is huge. The White House is, most of the time, I think people say, and I thought it was initially like, oh, okay, it's a little smaller than I thought it would be, amidst all of these, buildings that are built up all over downtown DC. The Capitol building is gigantic. It's so it just kind of is on a hill, like they call it the hill, but it just sits up high and it's beautiful. And it's got these beautiful steps that lead up to it on both sides of the building. And so I walked around the back of it and then up to the front so you can get to where the reflecting pool is and the Washington Monument. And I just was like, well, I'll just keep walking. I'll keep walking and keep checking Uber to see if the price goes down. It stayed the same or went up. And so I was like, well, I'll just keep walking. So I ended up doing about the 3 miles back to my hotel, listening to this book. And I couldn't hardly believe some of the things that he highlights in the story of leading up to Donald Trump's victory. And to be able to consume that story that I've already lived and you've already lived, we all saw it happen. And to do it when you're walking in the shadow of the Washington Monument or over my shoulder is the U.S. Capitol, and you're walking past the White House, and to hear this story of how America's voice was still heard in the last election, I can't recommend enough. And I have people on who write books, and I'm happy to promote their books. This one in particular, The Greatest Comeback Ever by Joe Concha. You're going to want this one on your shelves. Go get it. Let's take a quick break. We'll do Wiggins America next when we come back.
Ain't conniving, just ain't jiving. I don't know. What you know, Joe? Well, I don't know Latin.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find a podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I don't know. I don't know.
The Diamond Shop is celebrating May, and you know what May brings? Mother's Day, graduation day, lots of things coming to a conclusion in May. It's beautiful outside, and so, you know, you're going to be at a lot of celebrations. That's good. That's exciting. The Diamond Shop's going to help you with all of your celebration needs. If you're looking for a great gift for mom, from May 1st through the 10th, so you're going to want to hurry over there. Today is officially the 1st of May. 40% off all in-stock jewelry, and VIPs get free mom or love necklaces with a $100 jewelry purchase through Mother's Day. So if you're looking to get something for maybe grandma, or if you're looking to get something for mom, a loved one, maybe a mom and a stepmom, you can kind of get a 2-for-1 here when you go in to purchase something at the Diamond Shop. Like I said, 40% off all in-stock jewelry. And if you do go to thediamondshop.net and sign up to be a VIP, which will take you, 60 seconds, you're going to be able to get that free mom or love necklace with a $100 jewelry purchase. Sign up online, get the VIP specials in the middle of May. They're going to have a graduation sale, so keep that in mind as well. Everything you need to know is at thediamondshop.net.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 20th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and worried about the market volatility and losses at this stage in your life? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton on Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Cardinals fans, there are more ways this season to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. For the first time, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. Monthly, seasonal, and annual packages available. Also new this season, you can stream FanDuel Sports Network through Amazon Prime Video with an add-on subscription. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
How do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada is today's YouTube live chat poll question. And we were just debating, are we talking about his rhetoric? Are we talking about what he's doing economically with tariffs and so on? It's really up to you how you answer that question. It is the YouTube live chat poll, and you find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Today's date will come up. That's where the live stream and the question are. 147. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
This is the Annie Fry Show. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
All right, you ready to survive an alien invasion?
No, I don't want to survive it.
All right, then you're going to not want to be
Okay.
in certain states.
Are they nice aliens?
No.
Annie's
Perhaps
like,
the
"I,
one
for
thing
one."
this article doesn't talk about. They're nice
Welcome
aliens
our
or
new
not.
alien overlords.
No, these are
I
going
want
to
to go be
be.
with Jesus instead of the aliens.
That's great. I applaud you.
Thank you.
I don't think that that's what the article's focusing
That's
on.
okay.
Like,
I might.
At the end of it, doesn't say
my husband might
just die.
My husband might disagree, so these will be helpful.
Your kids are like, Mom, you're just walking into the beam?
Let's say what Molly says.
Take me.
Twos. Peace out.
So there, first of all, Daily Mail recently ranked the best and worst states to be in if you want to survive the UFO invasion. And it was based on the criteria of who has the most forests, caves, emergency personnel, military personnel, and engineers per capita, plus population
How do we
density
know what
and
the
water
aliens
access.
want?
Well, we just assume that they're hostile here
But-
for this.
So they just want to come here and kill us and leave?
They
Take
want
over?
They want to kill us, and they just want our planet. They don't want us to be here.
So they want our resources.
They want everything.
They want a minerals deal.
Yeah,
They want-
they probably
they
leave
want-
probably leave the animals.
They want Earth's molten cores.
Which ones? All of them?
all the animals except for the humans.
How do you know so much about this?
This is just the rules. I didn't make them up.
He's a sci-fi guy.
he's part of the advanced the advanced team down here prepping everybody.
I didn't say that. You said that. Okay, which states or area of the country would you picture being the best to be in?
Montana.
If a UFO invasion happened.
Yeah, I guess a place where there's not a lot of population, but I would say like Wyoming
Might have better resources there. It's less.
or Montana's a good one. Maybe Colorado. So I'm saying
terrain
that
in
area of the
That's
country.
that's what everybody would expect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are dead wrong. Is the exact opposite. Those are the worst states to be in.
Because they're untouched resources.
Yeah, see, I knew it.
That's-
He's part of the advanced squad.
They don't have as many resources,
What's
water.
the advanced squad?
So what's the best? Like New York?
He's saying I'm a scout for the aliens. Is what
Oh,
he's
that
saying.
tracks. Go on.
Dumb. I don't like that.
Well, is that why
You
his
wouldn't.
beard's two different colors?
Yes.
No, that's what happens to
It's like
older
aliens
gentlemen.
have. It's like
Oh.
gangs. They have colors. He's sporting his colors.
No. So if you see a man
What does
with
those
a,
colors
with a
represent?
beard
Which
that's starting
alien?
to get some pepper and
Uh-huh.
salt in it, that means they're an alien.
That's
Pepper and
literal
salt.
pepper and salt and barbecue sauce.
So
You got a little something right here.
and butterscotch Twinkie things. Or what were those kisses that I was eating yesterday?
Yesterday.
I was eating those
Wait,
yesterday.
is
I
that
didn't
what
take
was
a
at my keyboard yesterday?
I gave you one of those.
He gave you a kiss?
Thanks.
I did. And James too, the other producer.
An edible kiss.
All right, the states that you want to be in are
The aliens
Virginia.
would love this.
Number 1, Virginia.
Yeah.
Number
Virginia is for lovers.
number 2, really 2 through 10 is states like Massachusetts, Wisconsin, and North Carolina, Georgia, all because they have strong military presence and a lot of resources.
But there's a lot of people
That's
too.
where the fighting's going to be first.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's so many people there. They're going to the spots where they can get rid of the most people. And the Northeast has the most people.
I still
does it
don't
not?
understand what the aliens want. If they want our earthly resources,
Here's
the
problem.
most condensed populative areas
You're
don't
not
have
gonna-
the most
when they
earthly
show
resources.
up, we're not going to have communication. We're not going to know what they want.
Well, they want to wipe us out before they take our resources.
So you
That's
want
what
to
I was
You guys are
thinking.
pretty certain.
so you want to get close to the land.
What if they're really
You don't want to have desert.
into fashion?
Well, then they'd wipe me out.
And they'd want to go to LA
Just kidding. I got this shirt at Forever 21.
because your fashion is good or bad.
I don't know.
We got to take Wiggins out first.
Look at what he's wearing.
Just look at
It's a
him. You'll
plain
understand.
sweatshirt.
That
You
is
got
not
to
the
say
fashion.
So the worst states are, ironically, Nevada, home to Area 51.
I would have picked
and
that first.
Idaho and Arizona, because they have a small military presence, but it's more associated with movie aliens.
Listen, we're not going to be able to keep up with the alien technology as it is. So I think that military schmilitary in this case, personally.
Would our EMPs dismantle and disable their technology?
Well, that depends. First, you have to tell me what an EMP
now
is.
you guys don't know the answers to the questions.
Oh, I know everything.
Maybe that's how the EMP gets set off, is that we have to do it for that, or what I think is more likely, the robots.
What was your question about the EMP again? I can answer.
EMP.
An electromagnetic pulse weapon, and it can
Right.
set
Right.
off.
I knew that.
It can set off a pulse that disables and for good all electronic circuits and computers and everything.
Okay.
So we go back to living in like wagon wheel times.
Yeah.
Oregon Trail kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
dysentery.
Yeah, and that's what.
Yeah, be the doctor.
What's the question?
You
What
asked
was
it, didn't
what was,
you?
what was your question about EMP?
Didn't
was
you
my
ask the
question.
I said, would our EMP military weapons be able to take out alien systems? I think the aliens would be like, we would have to set off our own EMP to disable their electronic systems, and then it would just be brute strength versus brute strength.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I can answer that question.
I bet you can. Go ahead.
Well, first of all,
Alien
because I
says what?
literally wrote the book on this, The Life of Human has an EMP as a central part of the plot. So,
And yet you're
What's
completely
it called?
unprepared.
I studied The Life of Human.
Stop
okay.
it, Ethan.
So
It's called the greatest comeback ever.
Yeah, where can one get that?
just type in Joe Concha.
Yeah, get his book. You're gonna want it when you're sitting there
Right.
hiding from the aliens.
Yeah, you're going to want to look at how Kamala Harris lost the 2024 election.
He's like, these are the important things.
No,
Remember when she
people
was
are
talking about
clamoring to
elephants?
get The Life of Human at that point because they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this will help me survive," which it will. So, so to answer your question though, these are transdimensional aliens, so the EMP won't work on them. They came from a different dimension.
Thank you for the information.
I don't know
They have
what that matters.
bioelectric computers, so EMPs don't work like they would on a traditional computer.
Exactly.
I don't think that you can prove that.
Oh, you don't think?
I think you're both saying that with an imposed faux arrogance that is supposed to make me just be like, oh, that sounded really smart.
You were just going to sacrifice yourself to the aliens instantly anyway.
Yeah, which one of these scenarios is preferable?
The one we're in. The one we're in
right
is-
now, without the alien overlords.
The aliens are transdimensional. You don't know what in the world's going
You're
on.
saying this like it's a fact. Like I
It
said.
is a fact. Look, what is this right here?
Maybe they want to learn our farming patterns
It's an
so that they
article.
can take it back to their Earth-like planet
I printed
and
this.
implement it. And if they kill us, we can't teach them.
That is cold hard facts in Ryan Wiggins' hands right
Didn't
now.
we establish earlier that you wrote these articles and then are now sourcing them?
That's all hearsay.
Sources say.
All back from the book Life of
Well,
Human.
look, what Annie's saying is that they're not going to learn our farming patterns. How does she know that?
I said that they wouldn't if they killed us.
They would definitely learn our farming
I
patterns.
think they're
Not if we
traveling the
can't
universe
teach
to
them.
get corn.
Yes, they are. Our corn's great, especially here in the Midwest.
The best.
Yeah. And that's really
You
the
haven't
whole
even
point
got-
of the
you haven't
segment.
even
Yeah, I was gonna say we got 1 point in.
There's a whole nother article.
But wait, there's more after the break.
That
He'll
we didn't
actually
get to.
tell us how to get
10 ways to survive the
Not
alien
dead.
invasion.
where you
10?
You
Yeah.
can take the Annie plan and just go see Jesus.
She doesn't care about surviving.
Jesus, no, I'm surviving for good. Just not here. We'll be right back.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
I was in a doctor's office this morning, and while I was in there, a stink bug appeared. Are those not? I think that they are the alien spies.
They're landing on our family right now, every night.
Point Pest Control I haven't talked to them specifically about their ability to take care of stink bugs, but I don't have any stink bugs in my house. And I know for sure that if you see a stink bug in your home, as somebody who would get a quarterly service plan like I do, you just call and be like, get it out of here. It's spying on me. And just say it like that and just be super convinced. And as long as you pay your quarterly bill, they'll be fine with it.
Just call it and say, get it out of here. They're spying on me.
Yeah, it's a stink
All
bug.
right, we'll be right over.
3:00. I gotta wrap this up. Sorry, I'll do that one for free. 636-798-0023. I mean, seriously, nobody likes those things. Get rid of the bugs in your house with Point Pest Control. Get on a quarterly service plan. Mention my name and save 10%. 636-798-0023. PointPestControl.com.
I'm Danny Cohn, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. This past week, the Jewish holiday of Yom HaShoah commemorated the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust and remembered the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. As Jews, when we recall the atrocities of the Holocaust, we say, never again. This is not a slogan or a tagline. It's a responsibility we all share to prevent the systematic hatred from going unchecked. When we work together to fight against prejudice and bigotry towards everyone, we create a better community for everyone.
Hey guys, it's Mark Bearden. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
From the White House to the UN, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump just confirming he's nominating Mike Waltz for a new role, hours after word Waltz was stepping down from a top White House position.
From his time in uniform to Congress and then as national security advisor, President Trump says Mike Waltz has worked hard to put the nation's interest first. In a social media post, the president says Waltz will do the same as the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Waltz had been serving as national security advisor, a role the president says will now be handled by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Waltz had come under pressure to resign following his admission of accidentally adding a journalist to a Signal group chat in March about airstrikes in Yemen.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A Waltz deputy was also expected to step down along with other Security Council members. The president's previous UN ambassador nominee, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, withdrew her nomination because of the GOP's slim House majority. The president also just threatening sanctions on anyone who buys Iranian oil. Earlier, Oman's foreign minister, the mediator in U.S. talks on Iran's nuclear program, announced that a fourth round of talks set for this weekend in Rome were postponed, citing logistical reasons. President Trump says tariffs will make America rich.
We'll be paying off debt. We'll be lowering your taxes very substantially because so much money will be taken in that we'll be able to lower your taxes even beyond the tax cut that you're going to be getting, hopefully, with the big, beautiful bill.
During a National Prayer Day event, the president saying work on that bill is going well as Democrats keep warning it'll lead to cuts in Medicaid. State police in Illinois say the driver of a car that smashed through a building used for an after-school program may have had a medical emergency, just confirming she was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. That crash killed 3 children and a teenager and remains under investigation. America is listening to Fox News.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No question, we are stuck in a weather pattern. Periods of showers through the afternoon, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms. It's not going to be raining all the time. 76 for the high. Tonight, some scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms scattered about. 55. Friday, partly sunny. Keep the idea of a shower here and there. A lot of dry time Friday, 69, and a good-looking weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Civia Law, my friend Todd Civia, a man who put together and helped finalize our trust, my husband and myself. Please consider Civia Law for helping you through life's transitions. This is what they do, and they are very, very good at it. Todd is going to help you really come up with solutions to problems that you might not have thought. You might have a problem. You might have looked into how to solve that problem and figured, gosh, I guess this just isn't workable. Make sure you reach out to Todd Civia before you throw in the towel on it for your help with things like estate planning and elder law, with special needs, real estate, personal injury, business, online forms. CiviaLaw.com has the information you need. Right now, they're offering a special offer for our listeners. So if you've heard me talk about Civia Law before and you've hesitated, I need you right now to call 833-995-WILL. The first 10 listeners to call in today get a free strategy session. This is a $300 value. Mention the Annie Fry Show in order to qualify for this. 833-995-WILL. 833-995-WILL. The first 10 callers after I speak here are going to secure that free strategy session. 833-995-WILL. You can sit down, talk to them about what you're looking for, and then make a decision afterwards about what kind of move you want to make next. But Civia Law, they're there to help you. They're in Illinois and Missouri. In Illinois, Edwardsville, East Dalton, Swansea, Centralia, and Mount Vernon. In Missouri, and Wentzville and Creve Coeur. Book your strategy session today. First 10, you get that free. 833-995-WILL. CiviaLaw.com.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living, where your loved one will enjoy chef-prepared meals, engaging activities, state-of-the-art technology, and a welcoming community that feels like home. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. New Perspective, where every day is a chance to live life on purpose.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. 2 o'clock, 2:07 on a Thursday afternoon. Thank you for being here with us on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show. Ryan was doing a very important Wiggins America just an hour late because we shuffled things around in the first hour. We're going to get to that here in a second. The YouTube live chat poll today is, how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? Ethan, do you have any thoughts on the 51st state conversation, Governor Trudeau, tariffs on Canada, our neighbor? One of the options is indifferent. Do you love it, hate it, indifferent?
I don't. It's funny. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't know if I would say I'm necessarily indifferent. I feel like there's something in between there where it's obvious to see like what Trump is trying to do, and it is working to a certain extent. But I also understand the American people out there, and even in Canadians as well, saying like some of the comments that he makes are unnecessary. Because even if Trump has a certain if he has a certain agenda that he's trying to accomplish with some of the things that he says, I think that sometimes the people don't receive it that way. So I can understand why some people take away from it, like it's not productive, it's unnecessary. But simultaneously, I also do think that there are times when it is funny, and I mean, it has to a certain extent worked in trying to, piss off the Justin Trudeau and
pee off.
Well,
some people listening who are like, "Ugh." Say pee off, please.
No, I agree.
Going so good.
It's not like we do anything better.
I feel you, Ethan.
Oh man, we would love for you to go vote in that poll. I've heard people say, I've seen more chatter on social media from people who don't normally talk about politics. Be like, I'm gonna go get my maple syrup. Just trying to show a solidarity with
that'll go a long way.
Northern
From
brothers.
Vermont.
And
wait a minute. Shoot.
Just giving you the opportunity to weigh in on this. You can tell us if you love it, hate it, or if you're indifferent on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Aliens.
You want to survive now? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-mm.
You're still going to just walk right into the beam?
She's still giving.
No, I'm not going to the beam. I'm going away from the beam.
No, I'm not talking. And I'm not talking about the beam that brings you up into the spaceship. I'm talking about the beam that just slices you in half.
You're telling us that your advice to survive an alien attack is to go up in the beam?
No, don't go toward the light. Is what I'm saying. In many circumstances, you'll survive longer if you do not go toward the light.
Like a mosquito and a bug zapper.
Yes, that is you.
Did you guys have bug zappers? Have you ever?
We had them when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
they were fun.
Ethan, you know what a bug zapper is?
I know. We never owned one, but I had friends that had them.
Did you call it that?
Yeah, I think so.
In fact,
it is a sound of my youth. Yeah, just electrocuting bugs.
Yeah, you felt like you were the king.
Yeah,
freshman year.
My dad, I guess, did.
Freshman year, when I didn't have my license, one of my friend's moms would.
This is a great story.
Hold on, would have to pick us up from school.
Pee us up.
And
this is what I missed when I was in Washington D.C. This is what brought me back home.
That's, I think, the first time
Kaylin
I can remember
Collins
really
wasn't
just
having
breaking,
these kind of
just
conversations.
breaking.
Oh man.
And they had a
just got to power through, Ethan.
They had a bug zapper, and us 14-year-old guys would take turns smacking each other with the bug zapper.
So you had the racket versions.
Yeah.
So
My friend did.
I was going to say, I got this for a gift for, I think, my dad a few Christmases ago. And I'm like, this is going to be the greatest gift ever. It was one of those mobile bug zappers that you walk around with and just hit bugs with.
Growing up, ours was one that you hung up.
Yeah, ours was too.
And
when
it
I was
just
a kid.
would zip.
Yep. You know what else would help with attracting mosquitoes away from you is if you hung up a bag
It's called repelling.
of blood.
You are one of the aliens. This is a trap. It's a trap.
Anyway, back to the content that you came for.
Where? I'll be right back. I gotta go find it.
These are the top ways to survive an alien invasion. So I told you where you want to be and where you don't want to be in the last segment.
Heaven.
And there was so much to this that we said we got to come back and do the rest. So here are the
exactly
top
what
ways
happened.
to survive the alien invasion, really no matter where you are. Number 10. There's 10 of these. Be peaceful. When aliens do arrive,
Yeah.
we were talking about this motivation.
This is like what AOC would say.
Yeah, this is what a
Just
good actress says.
Welcome them with love.
Yes. Yeah, any good leftist politician
Slowly
or actress
approach them and hug them.
asks first, what is my motivation?
What if they immediately say they want to kill you?
Well, listen, it says first, we should give them the benefit of the doubt until they attack.
Okay.
So first, communication
Be
will
nice
be
to
essential.
them until they attack.
Yeah, you got to let them make
They
the
have
first
to make
move,
the first
it
move.
says.
Okay.
Best way to reach understanding
It's
is
like
through
Donald
peace.
Trump's doctrine.
But if the aliens have already begun to invade Earth,
Uh-huh.
then you're going to have to pivot that strategy.
How do you know if it's invasion?
That's why communication is important with the aliens.
What if you can't?
You're the one that said we couldn't communicate with them last
Yeah, see, they're
segment.
making this up as they go, Ethan.
These
They
are
don't
different
really
types
know.
of aliens. These are different types of. in
These are
different
northern
circumstances.
aliens.
See, making peace is exactly what an alien scout would want you to try to do, so you were easier to get.
See, Brad knows it.
The ones I was talking about last time came from Universe West. This is Universe East.
UW.
And from which direction you leave the Earth, I can't really tell. The Earth is a globe.
It's the UW Warriors.
I don't know which way is west or east, but I can tell you there's a difference between these aliens.
West is left.
The first ones are trans-dimensional. These are dimensional. Just for clarification. Number 9.
Absolutely nothing has been clarified.
After you realize that, oh, these things are here to kill, you need to obtain a weapon.
Oh.
Okay, peace didn't work, and the
False.
aliens clearly have bad intentions.
The
You
first
need to
thing
go
you
get
do-
a weapon.
The
What a
first
kitchen
thing
knife
you
work.
do is you have a weapon and you conceal it. And
Yep.
then you determine if they're peaceful.
Unless you're in Texas, you can just walk around with them.
Well, maybe they don't go to Texas first.
You're right about, or UK, you're not going to have any swords to fight off the aliens. So you need to get anything you can. Ethan, you just mentioned the big knife. Yes.
From
that's
your
fine.
kitchen.
Yeah. Now, if you're talking about the aliens and you're hand-to-hand combat, that's a great way to go about it. If you're talking about them in the spaceships, not as good. You can try throwing it, though, if you want. Number 8. Find a gas mask and hazmat suit. It doesn't really tell you
I
how.
have one of those things.
It just says find a gas mask
Mhm.
and a hazmat suit. The aliens will likely be one step ahead. Okay, they'll be a few steps ahead. Let's be honest, they'll know more about our world than you think they will. That's why you need a hazmat suit, because
Do
the air will be
aliens-
contaminated.
Do aliens on their alien planets talk about what's going to happen when the aliens come? And like, what if it's Earthlings? Do they just automatically assume we're going to be smarter than them?
As an Earthling, I can tell you that that's all they talk about.
I feel like our solar system might be the part of the universe that aliens roll up their windows and lock their doors as they fly by on their spaceships.
Why?
Not true. We have corn and soy beans.
Corn makes whiskey,
Yep, whiskey makes my lady,
baby.
baby, a little frisky.
Feel a little frisky.
And that's what the aliens are after. And that's what we need to be very careful of. That's
They're
how
after our women.
That's how we had
They're
Nephilim.
after our women.
Yeah, they're after our
I'm
women.
ready to fight.
That's why I told you I wanted to go see Jesus.
That's right. Yeah.
This will be the
'Cause you're
worst.
trying to avoid the Nephilim. That's what happened.
I mean, yeah.
So don't get drunk if there's an alien invasion, because you're gonna find out why they're here.
I hope the White House press corps is not listening right now. Go on.
The whole press corps.
Yeah, they're sitting around waiting for something to do. Like,
Nobody's walking
who
up
was
to
that
them.
lady?
Like,
Who was that Midwesterner?
wow.
Who let her in?
Let's pull that up and see what she does for real. I don't believe it.
She must be new media. Number 7, get out of the city. Why are you still in the city? Go, go, go. The aliens will crush our biggest cities first.
This is
Yeah.
pretty.
You guys said it
We're
last.
supposed to go to
contradicting.
Virginia.
This is contradicting the last article.
Western Virginia.
I agree with you.
Not
Ethan.
West Virginia,
This
though.
is inconsistent.
That's almost heaven.
Number 6, avoid meteorites and their crash
What?
sites. Given that aliens come from space,
You're gonna outrun them. Here's the
you'll
question:
need to avoid areas that have been affected by space
when you
objects.
see the meteorite coming, it's crashing, and you see it. Do you try to outrun it in the direction that it's coming, or do you try to cross path? If it's coming at you from the right, do you try to go left so that it misses you?
Oh my gosh, that's such a naive question.
Go on.
No, you run opposite the direction of the meteorite.
You run
Whichever
away from
direction it's coming, you go the other way. That was number 6.
But it's coming at you, so it'd be coming in the same. It'd be making the same movement towards you that you were running in. How are you going to be able to judge if you can the landing spot?
Meteorites move fast. The speed at which you run is so negligible compared to the speed of a meteorite.
So you're saying run away?
Just get away from it. Which whatever,
But your speed is
whatever
negligible.
direction you can run.
I
If you're like
think-
that way's a ravine, that way's a road, go to the road.
What I think your best bet, I think you're going to get squashed by this meteorite if you see it coming, but I think your best bet is to run in the direction towards it so it goes over the top, because it's not going to just land. It doesn't just land straight down, right? It's going to crash and create distance when it lands.
I think you're overestimating your speed.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to outrun the meteorite. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Do I need to draw a picture?
I think there's a better.
I get what you're saying.
It's a roll of the dice.
Right, but you're looking to mobilize the asteroid's speed to yours, because when you're running toward it, it's heading at you.
I'm going to run towards it and right at the end slide. So that it crashes over my head and just misses me.
This is what I was afraid of.
That we wouldn't take you seriously.
I'm not going to move. I'm just going to stand still.
You're going to say, what are the odds that it would hit me right in this
I'm
place?
going to give it a good old salute. And if I make it, I make it. And if I don't, I don't.
You grab that cross necklace you're wearing and
Yep. Give it a little kiss.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
And you say, twos.
Listen, okay, joking over. Not only
Probably
could these meteorite crash sites be highly toxic, they could be planned by the aliens. They could also be part of some larger plan, some sort of hub or cocoon for alien life forms. I mean, yes, joking, but like, listen. Number 5.
I thought you said we weren't joking around anymore.
How big are these butterflies going to be that come from this cocoon?
I mean, God help
You
us
get
if
one
they
more
can fly.
point.
They can fly and they go in your mouth. You're just gone. Just let it go.
You're gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Let's hope that your eternal soul is ready to run.
You know, Jesus.
Number 5, find a way to hide/camouflage yourself.
Why isn't that the first thing you do?
You got to get out of the city first.
After you ran to
And
the
then
city.
you got to cover yourself in twigs. If you're out of the big city, you need to adapt to your environment. Aliens could potentially have technology that identifies human movements, but you could still try to hide.
I just imagine Ryan trying to cover himself one by one with like 4-inch long twigs.
I need more twigs.
Kids, get more twigs.
Cover me up.
Dad's kind of
Kids,
big.
How many other points do you have? List them.
Number 4, seek military
You just
aid.
said 5. Are you going
I'm
backwards?
going backwards.
Oh.
It's like David Letterman. Number 3,
We got to number 4 before you
be
realized that.
a cunning linguist, because then you might be able to communicate with the aliens, maybe even through symbols. Number 2,
It's like I'm drawing a smiley face question mark. Scary face question
I'm going
mark.
to draw a woman like the bathroom signal and then put an X through it, like do not take our women. That's against our rules.
Man, now would be a good time to lean into the multi-gender.
Hey, yeah.
I
Are you
am not a woman.
I don't know.
I
I don't identify as that.
Out.
I could maybe carry a little alien baby, but you don't know. Number 2,
I don't think you know their skills. Go on.
scavenge or steal their technology like China.
I think the China part you added.
I did say that.
Just
part.
checking.
That's not in the article. You need to find ways to rip off the aliens, steal their stuff, and maybe use it against them. So this is where the hand-to-hand combat comes in, Ethan. So have a knife, stab them, take their utility belt.
Only if it's hand-to-hand.
Number 1, last one, most important. Destroy the mothership.
Again, I kind of feel like that should
With
be number
knives.
1.
First and foremost, focus on destroying the alien headquarters, which is the mothership. Hopefully they're all linked and they daisy chain explode, but we don't know.
In the words of my generation, up yours. And then
We're
you solve
screwed.
the problem.
We are donezo.
I know. That's why I'm cutting my losses at the beginning. And
I was hoping to change your mind by the end of the segment. Apparently I failed.
no, I'm pretty comfortable in my.
What if you were the one that was going to destroy the mothership and you just sacrificed yourself right at the beginning? All of us die because of it.
You'd have to convince me that I was the one that had to do it first.
I just tried.
Like I said. X's and Y's next. Trisha's out for the week, so we're going to catch back up with her next week for Annie, Are You Okay? X's and Y's, those questions that we have for one another across genders, all two of them. I've got several of yours from the last time we did this on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. If you want to give us a comment, go find that post. You can leave a comment there. You can also leave them on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We've got a few questions of our own. Why do men fill in the blank? Why are women always fill in the blank? It gets fun. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
aircomfortservice.com, the website, it's got it all. So if you are looking for something specifically when it comes to heating, probably not anymore, air conditioning, insulation, if you want to tap into the way they can make your duct work throughout the course of your home actually function the way it's supposed to, so the air isn't leaking out all over the place. I've had that AeroSeal duct seal done in my home by Air Comfort. They're the best. You can call them at 314-513-0091. 2025 sees new regulations on the type of refrigerant that's used in HVAC equipment. Air Comfort Service knew that this was going to happen, and they decided they were going to stock up on the 2024 equipment and be able to pass along those savings to you. They care about their customers. They want you to have the absolute best experience working with them, and they make that very clear with each of the customers that they work with who become their ambassadors as well. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Call my friends at Air Comfort Service. I'm a customer of theirs multi-times over. You will be glad that you become one as well. aircomfortservice.com.
Do you know about the true crimes that inspired a Bruce Springsteen album? Or the murders AC/DC was blamed for? How about Taylor Swift's violent stalkers? Or the suspicious deaths of Brittany Murphy and River Phoenix? These stories and more are told in the Disgraceland podcast, hosted by me, Jake Brennan, every Tuesday, where I dive deep into subjects from the dark side of music history and entertainment. So follow and listen to Disgraceland on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit ForThePeople.com for an office near you.
This could be the #1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate Don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
All right, welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, the YouTube live chat poll for today. How do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? You love it, you're indifferent, or you hate it? YouTube channel Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, and our live broadcast. It's up right now in the comment section, the live chat. That's where the live chat poll is. All right, let's get to it, Brad.
X's and Y's.
So Molly on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page said, this probably isn't a Ryan and Brad related question. And I'm adding in, maybe it's an Ethan question about boys and men. Why are boys that are typically Gen Z and younger wearing such short athletic shorts? Annie, I know your son's a freshman, so maybe you can weigh in, but I just don't get it. The length of shorts for Brad and Ryan when you guys were in high school, where did shorts come to?
Very baggy.
Was it Allen Iverson who would wear them his mid calf, basically?
Yeah, I don't think it was just him.
No, but I mean, he was kind of famous.
He's the one that kind of him and what was the Fab Five from Michigan? They set off the big shorts thing.
How long? So you wore them big and baggy?
Yeah,
same
all pants when I was in high school.
Yeah,
all pants were baggy.
Ethan, how short are your shorts?
We had a name for those.
And why are you like the way that you are?
So actually, this has changed from like when I was in middle school and early high school to where it is now, because I remember actually in middle school getting made fun of for having shorts that were too short.
And where did they hit you?
Right above, barely above the knee cap. Barely.
So you showed your knee?
Yeah.
And that was too short.
That was too short.
So then you graduated high school, and then what?
Well,
how short were they then?
I wouldn't say it was a little bit before that, but at some point along the way, I think it's when like at one point, like remember when Simply Southern started getting really popular, like that style of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
During that point, guys, I guess, started getting more into like shorter and shorter and shorter to where now it is I think it's just showing that styles and trends of fashion change. And right now, like short is what's in.
So the shorts that you wear, you're 24. You're 24. The shorts that you wear out and about in the summer, how short are they?
I mean, like
if you put your hands down by your side, would they be longer than your middle fingers?
If you put your hands in your pants, would they come out the bottom?
Brian.
They are longer than like as I put my.
Are you wearing shorts right now?
No.
Oh.
We all are. That's why they have to shoot us from the waist up on these cameras.
As I put my hands by my side, they're still longer than like my hands
Middle
down
fingers?
down to like mid quad probably.
What's the shortest pair of shorts, Ryan, that you own?
I have a pair. These are like way ahead of their time right now. They're called inverted shorts. So they actually are so short that there's nothing up here, but
It's a
they're
banana
only
hammock.
from the knee down.
You wear the shorts over your shoulders.
They're tough to walk around in.
That's why you got fired from the Dave Glover show.
I got fired from a lot of jobs because of those inverted shorts.
It looks like as I look online here, 5-inch was it 5-inch inseam, is that what it's called? Tends to be what the popular trend is. And I would say that's probably where most of my shorts
Baseball
are.
and soccer players for sure kind of push that trend. I actually do like the above the knee, a couple inches above the knee for men more than I like the 90s version of.
I do too. I think the
palazzo pants.
90s version looks stupid and ugly.
It does.
Oh, hold on.
It does.
Fighting words.
Yeah.
Stupid
me and Brad
and
still wear those.
ugly.
It was cool when we did it.
Not anymore.
Says the old people in the room.
Yeah.
Do you ever tight roll your shorts?
Attacked.
Nobody tight rolls shorts. Stop asking him questions
Try
that he
it.
wouldn't.
What does that mean?
Tight roll your shorts.
Is it just what it sounds like?
I'll explain how to tight roll your pants later, but now everybody's pants have elastic on the bottom of them, so it's kind of built in. Anyway, next question.
Remember last week or the last time we did this segment?
It sounds like it's going to be personal.
When we were talking about do girls like bad boys?
Mm-hmm.
What was the ultimate answer to that?
Yes.
Yes, because they want to change them. They want to tame the beast.
It's not because they want to change them. And you're going to say it's the same thing, and you're going to be wrong if you do.
Say that's what I took it as.
It's not that they want to change them. It's they want to be the reason that they no longer are bad.
Okay.
They don't want to
But
change
isn't that-
them. They
how
wanna
is that
be the
any
reason that
different?
they changed.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for clarifying what I just said.
Yeah, there's zero difference.
It's the exact same thing.
None of you are bad boys.
Well, that was one of my questions is
Are you a bad boy?
what makes a bad boy, and are we bad boys?
Well, I was going to say, we're all married. Maybe we were.
Yeah, you don't know.
And
I am factually certain that none of you were bad boys.
Speak for yourself.
I also was not a bad boy. I will speak for myself.
Were you a bad boy?
How did we find
No,
a girl?
Ethan wasn't a bad boy. Are you kidding me?
No, absolutely not.
Ethan is the opposite of a
I
bad
was
boy.
such a goody goody.
Yes.
It feels weird to keep saying bad boy. Are you a bad boy? Are you a bad
You
boy?
a naughty little boy.
You guys are all naughty boys.
I quit.
What makes somebody a bad boy was my question.
You're not following the rules.
They get they're not.
You don't care.
They don't.
Which
in trouble.
rules are you breaking though?
Depends.
One's school.
On the bad
All
boy.
the laws.
They're people
Do you
who
care about the police.
They're people who live their life not confined by the boundaries that most people, whether it's like just kind of manners and just the normal way that good, well-behaved kids behave, or it might be a little bit more than that. They might be into something, drinking underage or smoking or whatever it might be.
Smoking in the boys' room.
Smoking in the boys' room.
You're a bad boy.
Now it's
Are you
drooling in the
satisfied?
boys'
Have
room.
you thought about this for a week? Good night.
Kind of.
You just want to be a bad boy
Yeah, I
because
kinda
you
wanna
want to
be
be
a bad boy.
you want to be wanted by a good girl because you're a bad boy, and you are wanted by a good girl, but not because of that.
I don't want the girl part. I just want to go smoke in the junior high bathroom.
I was going to tell you that. I was about
Again,
to say,
he says.
then go. But then you have to
I was like,
say,
wait a minute.
junior high. Go smoke in KMOX's bathroom.
I think one of the 97 Wonders is in our bathroom smoking. Is he vaping? No, he's straight up smoking.
He's got them cigarettes
And
rolled
he's
up in his sleeve.
He's wearing a
Is there
short
anything
black
else you want to
shirt.
know about girls and bad boys?
Nah,
or
that's
you-
pretty much it.
All right, Brad.
So why is it that it seems like
If this is about bad boys.
No.
Okay.
This is about
It's coming from a bad
this
boy.
is
Really
this is
bad
about
boys.
girls' interactions with other girls. Why are they the biggest critics of other women?
Because they're insecure.
Okay.
They're bad girls. They're being bad.
You naughty girls.
It's like every time I see a comment about the way somebody looks or something like that, especially like media personalities, it's always coming from another girl. Don't wear this after
You've
Labor
never
Day.
seen men criticize media personality females? Because I could show you a few for the way
It's
they
never
look.
happened in world history.
Yeah.
Not
No.
once.
It's just those bitchy
We just
women.
walk around looking at TV and high-fiving each other. Dudes, you guys see the TV today?
We're bad
Did you
boys.
see the girls on there? There were girls
If
on
you
the
ever
TV.
go look at any of the comments on some like Fox News personalities on X, and you'll see the things, a huge portion of the comments will just end up being about their looks. And they're usually men, and they're usually men who are spending time criticizing the way they look. And sometimes these men have profile pictures. There's no way to verify that
Yeah.
that's who they actually are. Sometimes it's like Voltron or something. And you're just like, so you're telling me, if I'm not going to pick out a person's name because I think they're all beautiful, they were in a situation and available. If they showed interest in you, you'd be like, oh, you're too fat to be
You'd
talking
like,
to me.
actually,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
saving myself for someone a little more beautiful.
Exactly. No,
Not
women
quite
do it.
gorgeous enough.
Women do it because they're insecure, or because they've been around those women who have treated other women that way, and it's just turnabouts fair play.
You know what's interesting? I saw a few years ago a study on sight lines on television screens, and probably all screens, that they would track men's eyeballs where they went on a screen when a woman and a man were on a screen.
Don't like that.
Of course, you know where it's going. You know where that's going. But here's the crazy
Straight
thing.
into that man's eyes.
That's right.
Because he was a bad boy.
Because he was a bad boy. And they were like, I want to be a bad boy
You
too.
can see it in his eyes.
Teach me your ways. I don't know. Just do bad stuff.
Wow, that guy's doing wheelies.
In his heelys.
He's a bad boy.
What are we
He's
talking
going to
about?
go off a rim.
Is there an end to the story?
Yeah.
So,
you want to insert it
he
here?
said, hold on, let me think about the end real quick.
Yeah.
So the thing was, the guys were exactly the way that you expect. They tracked the girls' sight lines, and it was the exact same as the guys.
If a
they
guy
all
was
looked
watching a woman or a particular,
man and woman on screen,
They watch the women.
Man watched the woman,
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
Women all watch the woman too. Same thing.
So I think you see women marrying people who are not necessarily in their league from a physical standpoint more often than you see men. I'm trying not to be rude about this.
Describe league.
Yeah, who's not marrying who?
You see less attractive men with more attractive women way more often than you see very attractive men with less attractive women. Men are visual, and women want intellect. They want humor. Little bad boy.
Want a little bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody with inverted shorts.
I think that's weird, boy.
3-inch inseams.
Anyway, is there any more that you need to know about this? You just wanted to know why women are awful?
Mean to one another.
Mean?
So
Yeah.
mean.
They're, for the most part, insecure. It goes with the territory. And if they're not insecure, we know what they call them.
Perhaps you guys have discussed this when I haven't been in here for this segment, but we've had a lot of, girls' bathroom talk.
Mm-hmm.
Why do girls all go to the bathroom together? Why is that a thing? Have we talked about this?
We halfway
Not
addressed
really.
it, but I don't think we asked directly this
What
question.
I was going to say, did I give an answer to it? I don't think we have.
I don't think we asked it specifically.
Well, first, before I go, Ryan, why do girls go to the bathroom together?
I think they do each other's hair and do pillow fights in there. There's pillows in
Where
there.
did they get the pillows from?
Okay,
There's a couch in the girls'
call
bathroom.
that.
Wait, I've
call
asked
that
about
A.
this though.
Okay.
B, for Brad, why do girls go to the bathroom together?
Talk about whatever situation is going on at that moment. Like they're gonna go in there. It's like we have to talk about what's going on.
We got to
and
talk about
formulate
this
a
pillow
plan.
fight.
Ethan, why do you think women go to the bathroom together?
Yeah, to gossip. To gossip.
Would giggling fall into that category?
It kind of depends. It kind of depends, I think,
Are
on.
you 15?
I think it depends on where they are.
Yeah.
But like, there's always something to talk about, and there's always someone to get away from to talk about.
If let's say the women on the show minus Ethan and Ethan's wife, not
the women on the show minus Ethan.
Minus Ethan.
I'm talking
Wait a
about I'm
second.
talking about your wives, but I'm taking yours out because she's a different generation than
Okay.
If we all went out and Mrs. Wiggins and Mrs. Range and Mrs. Fry went to the bathroom together, you think we're giggling, having pillow fights, and gossiping about you?
Ryan's such a bad boy.
Putting on your makeup again, touching up a little bit, whatever's gone wrong throughout the evening over the last hour or so. And then just sort of like, did you see what Brad said about his asparagus? Ha 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 ha.
I think that it's possible that at 24, I don't know how many of your peers are married, more than or less than half.
Less than half.
Less,
probably.
I would assume. So there's probably, if you're going as a group of single girls or people who are dating or on dates or something or not fully committed, that is a whole different situation. That probably is, you probably do have to pee, and you probably are talking about the situation. I think if it were Mrs. Wiggins, Mrs. Range, and myself, we would just be like, well, I'm going to go. You want to go with me? You just have the company.
I would want to do the opposite of that. I would not want to go to the bathroom.
That's the one place I wouldn't run company.
Brad would be like, Brad, I got to go to the bathroom. We're like, all right, I'll wait.
Yeah, give me a couple minutes and then you can go in
I
there.
gotta go to the bathroom. Ryan, you want to go in?
You don't know that was me.
I guess we're different.
Says a very different message if guys ask each other to go to the bathroom together. Come on, boys. Potty time.
You go pee off.
Pee time.
Yeah, you say pee off.
Pee time.
Number 1 or number 2?
Do you have more questions? Should we do more of this when we come back?
Sure.
Maybe we'll let the people speak in the YouTube live chat poll or comments. You can also comment on the poll. How do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? I've got more from the listeners as well on the Facebook page. And we'll get the results of that poll from Ethan when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. I am grateful for the sponsorship, the partnership we had with Stewie. He was eager to help make that trip to Washington, D.C. possible for me so I could bring back some Washington, D.C. to you guys. And so thank you, Stewie, for that partnership. If you are looking for a mortgage, whether it's a new mortgage on a new home or if you're looking to refinance your current mortgage, rates have come down from their highest highs. You can do that at no cost to you. You can get yourself a lower interest rate when you call 314-324-4440 or you text 314-324-4440. Talk to Stewie about a bagel loan. The bagel loan doesn't exist in any other place. You can only go to get a bagel loan from Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and you can secure yourself the best possible deal. As a person putting in an offer on a home that you are really, really wanting, you want to be competitive, right? Well, you can close in less than 2 weeks with the bagel loan. You can pay $0 in closing costs, puts money right back in your pocket, in your savings account, in your checking account, or into the new home the way you want to. Stewie is there to make this process seamless, and he is the very best at it. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
You never got a sense of how big the community was until we all pour into this auditorium. 4,000 or 5,000 people. We're all here for the same reason. Real estate investing, living the lifestyle.
That's April on her Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text Expo to 88007. EXPO to 88007.
I'll try to keep this short, use some abbreviations. The YouTube live chat P, how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? Love it, indifferent, hate it. Let us know what you think about the P today. You find that P. It's a lot.
It's like the T, but it's the P.
By typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Let us know what you think about that poll. 247. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
CherryKelly.com.
I used to bite my tongue.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for
A little follow-up from the last time we did X's and Y's. We talked a lot about back and forth between man and wife about where we're going to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
And Dave commented on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, what Annie was missing in the food for dinner discussion. A man will ask the woman where she wants to eat. The woman says, I don't care. Then the man says, what about this? And the woman says, no. This will go on for 3 to 5 suggestions until the man asks again, where do you want to go? And she'll say, again, I don't care. And he just ends infuriating. And I read that and I'm like, yeah.
Does that actually happen?
Probably more. And I don't know. I would say between my husband and I, we have our places. We have our meals at our places. So it's not, where do you want to go eat? It's like, I want a Texas Roadhouse grilled chicken salad or a Wingstop.
Sure.
It
almost just seems too stereotypical for it to actually happen. You see the skits, so you see the funny videos of that, but it's like, but that doesn't happen in real life, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. You haven't dealt with that?
No, not to that extent.
No, he tells his woman where they're eating.
Yeah, apparently.
Like, listen up now.
Listen, you're gonna chicken salad chicken. You're gonna like it,
and you're gonna like it.
Oh, that would be a good place to start with most women. FYI.
What?
Chicken salad chick.
That's a place?
Yeah. It is. It's great.
Never heard of
they have chicken salad. Tina says, here's one for the boys in the room. Do all men like Westerns?
Not really.
No.
A really good Western is it's just a good movie.
That's a good movie, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last one that I watched even.
When you say, do you like a genre movie?
I would have stereotyped men and said yes on this one.
The way
all the men I know.
Well, I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
The generation above Gen X,
not my husband,
boomers, probably really did grow up on Westerns and like Westerns more.
All my grandparents watch is the Western Channel. That is all that is on.
You see, like if I'm flipping through something and I see that, I'm like, who watches this? And then there are people like that, your grandparents, who are like, it's all we watch.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the least Western thing I've ever seen is watching people line dance. They're wearing Western clothes.
Feel attacked.
They're listening to country music, but that does not make me think of like Western
Can't
culture.
see cowboys doing that.
No.
Around the campfire.
Next question. Who's got one?
I'll throw one out there. What is the deal with women in their shampoo? Like, guys are so chill with the soap that they have. For God's sake, some dudes have like the 3-in-1.
Well, I would say,
and then there's girls that are like, look at that, and they're like, that's sacrilegious.
I would say that men don't have hair that needs to be cared for. But then I'm looking at you.
Speak for yourself.
And your flowing locks.
Thank you.
Red locks of hair.
Hey, easy. Strawberry blonde.
It's red.
That hurt.
It matters. I don't know. It just matters. I also have to have
much of a reasoning here that I'm hearing.
Well, I have a shampoo rotation.
What?
Yeah, you can't use the same bottle of shampoo all the time.
Oh, I thought you meant like you have a couple of them and you use a different one every night.
No,
That's what I thought you
I'll
meant.
go through a particular brand of shampoo, and then I can usually use 2 bottles of one, and then the third bottle I'll have to change it up and do something else, just to keep my hair healthy.
Huh? Interesting.
Do they smell?
Do they have a scent? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Do they smell fruity or do they smell?
They smell girly.
Earthy?
Is that what?
I don't know.
Earthy.
I don't even know. Like smell like flowers and stuff.
Like the ocean breeze.
Yeah.
Sounds like shampoo makes you nervous.
It does.
Pine.
Smells make me nervous.
Purple shampoo.
I had to use purple shampoo when I bleached my hair in high school.
Yeah. Make sure it didn't get too orange, yellowish.
Correct. Yep.
Mm-hmm. If I do purple shampoo treatment on my hair, why?
It's so hard to get out.
Well, if I do it, I get compliments on my hair that day every single time.
Really?
But I don't know. I don't have white hair, but I have gray. What is my hair like? 80% gray, 20% blonde. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't color it anymore. You don't know what this color is?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
No.
But if I put the purple shampoo in it, it just makes it like kind of like
what is this?
Silvery.
You're saying this like we should know.
Purple shampoo?
Yeah.
It's
a brand?
It's I'll try to explain it to you. It's shampoo that's purple.
Literally.
Yeah, but what? It's not making your hair purple.
No.
Yeah, it can if you use too much of it and leave it on too long. I will do that sometimes, and I get a lot of compliments on it. I'll try to do it tomorrow. Yeah, I think I have some at home.
Something to do with purple and different tones cancel.
It's
purple.
It's taking out, like I was saying with him, like if you have orange or yellow tones in your hair, it takes them out and makes it like
makes them
silvery.
Softens it a little bit, right?
You should use purple shampoo in your beard.
I will.
Ooh.
Do you think it'll make my beard more vivid and would make it pop?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Fluffy.
It's kind of a little fluffy right
Next
now.
question.
I have one that's kind of along those lines.
Shampoo?
Yeah.
Or purple?
Girls don't always wash their hair whenever they shower, or is that just some girls don't do that? And
everybody's hair is different.
I mean, how can you get away with that? Because if I didn't wash my hair
I'm
every
with
time,
them.
There's a whole movement to not wash
I'm
your
a
hair at all.
greasehead
Have you ever seen that?
What?
That like the way commercial shampoo has changed our hair, that we're not made, like we're stripping all the natural oils and everything out of our hair, that your hair is actually not, this is what this movement says, that your hair will take care of itself over time. You don't
Even
have
if
to
it's
wash your hair.
sweaty?
I don't know. I mean, you still wash it. You just don't shampoo it.
Wait, how do you wash it without shampooing
just
it?
rinse
Water.
But that's not washing it.
Not for you.
That's rinsing it. Rinsing and washing aren't the same thing.
It just depends on how much oil your scalp produces and what your situation is and what you're doing to your hair with the shampoo. Like you might be trying to volumize your hair. You might be trying to moisturize your scalp. You might be trying to strengthen damaged hair or whatever. So it kind of depends on that. I wash my hair as little as I possibly can.
Chris says that there's a movement also to not brush your teeth as well. Can anyone confirm about this one?
No, I'm just saying there is a movement.
But you aren't.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
that's gross.
Kurt asked the question of women, I guess. What color is the sky in your world? Seems kind of like a shot, but
I like that there's a movement in modern America to just stop washing yourself.
You know that hygiene stuff?
Like what?
Cut it out.
We've been doing that stuff for way
it's
too
just
long.
earthy. That's all.
Getting back to our
My
roots,
husband says God made dirt and dirt don't
Ryan.
hurt, so I don't think he's for me not washing my hair.
I don't think that it's gonna hurt you.
I think he came up with that because it rhymes.
I mean, unless it's like you're gonna get infections, which maybe you will. Ethan, try it.
One more question. Anybody got one?
Why do girls like decorative pillows so much?
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Because don't you appreciate that your wife nests?
That you what?
Not really, unless she's feeding me a lot of worms.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? That she what?
I'm like,
You don't know what nesting is?
No.
So it's like making a house a home. Women will, when they're expecting a baby, they get the urge to nest, to like create more of a personal living experience on the space that they're in. And decorative pillows are part of that.
You'll know because you'll see decorative pillows. Your wife will walk around going, wah, 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 coughing up all kinds of vomit.
Oh my God.
Pulling random items in off the street and
God
leaving
bless
them together.
Mrs. Wiggins. My Lord in heaven.
That's what she does. That's how I learned.
You're like, hold
nesting.
on. This is the thing that they were talking about.
Kicking her feet behind her like a
well,
dog.
hi, honey. How are you? Everything okay?
Do you like the bed when it looks all nice and there's some decorative pillows on there?
Man, I love the bed.
Ethan?
How can you expect me to do anything after that? That's so not fair.
In his refrigerator with his herring.
252 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll, which asks, how do you feel about Trump's handling of Canada? 46% say that they are indifferent, 33% say that they love it, and 21% say that they hate it.
Thank you, Ethan. If you have more X's and Y's questions for us, we'll keep checking them out on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. So go there and leave a comment. Thank you for everybody who participated with us on that YouTube live chat poll. And you're going to want to keep it right here because the Mark Reardon Show is up next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, Are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors,